All right. Played the intro enough. We're going to get on with it. So, again, Flatzoid's live, thinking he's smarter than every scientist that's ever lived, and smarter than every human that's ever existed, when he's proven he's not. Clearly not. So, anyway, this is Globe Anonymous, which is really funny. You know, they talk a lot about the globe, but they rarely talk about flat Earth. They rarely show any evidence, well, never show any evidence or proof for it. It's just a bunch of whining little bitches crying about what they don't like about reality and how it hurts their feelings. That's all it is. So,
Hi
on
and
with it.
welcome to Globies Anonymous, where we are here to hear your pain. Globies, please come up. Present to us how the flat.
Now, weren't you criticizing Dr. or Professor Dave Explains for calling himself a professor when he's actually taught in college? And but now you're Dr. Flatzoid?
Flat Earth hurt you, and we are here to ease your pain. Anyway, good to see you guys. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. We have a great panel today, and all the people professional enough to help you with your Globie desires.
Professional enough? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, settle down there, Francis.
We have Michael Kahn, Jeff Gassett, Jeff Conkal, Dave Southern Soul, PJ, Nate, Roger, and Ryan in the house. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. You make a proper BBC correspondent.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day a Globie starts believing in the space lie. $1 can help them.
Every day I start believing in another lie.
Just an organization specific.
Millions of people around the world suffer from globitis. Perhaps yourself or someone you may even know. Won't you please help us rid this terrible malady from people's minds?
And then then it cuts to a guy that says, "I used to have globitis." And now I believe.
I used to believe the Earth was rising up at a constant rate, but then I found Flatzoid.
So, yeah, I wanted to show something here before we get started. So, Flatzoid. Let's see, let me. Uh-oh, what happened to his channel? Huh. That's weird. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's at the top because he's live right now. So he put out a short, this right here.
I'm going to keep his statement on screen while Brian.
I won't want.
I'm going to keep his statement on screen while Brian Cox says it to him again. Okay.
So if anybody knows, actually, let me type that in and do a search on this because I'd really like to find the full quote. National Gallery. August 2016. There we go. All right. So this is the
interest in ideas of why our universe is as it is.
Yeah, before I start, I just want to add my thanks to the National Gallery here. Gap apple doesn't hit Newton on the head.
Okay, here's where it is.
The product of the mass of the Earth and the mass of the apple and the square of the distance between them. So that was the first universal of the theory. Was no greater really than Newton's. It was to describe how objects move in gravitational fields. Newton said it's an apocryphal story actually, but Newton said there's an apple fell onto his head. Why did it fall onto his head? Because there's a force pulling it down, and that force is proportional to the product of the mass of the Earth and the mass of the apple and the square of the distance between them. So that was the first universal law of nature. 1687, so a great step forward. In 1915...
You hear that, Flatties? Universal law of nature.
Based
Hey, Martin.
on thoughts that Einstein had for...
Right, based on thoughts. Now he's going to talk about the thought experiment from Einstein.
1687, so a great step forward. In 1915... based on thoughts that Einstein had for actually a decade or more, Einstein produces a new theory of gravity, which the one-line summary is that the apple doesn't hit Newton on the head because the Earth pulls the apple down. The apple hits Newton on the head because Newton accelerates upwards and headbutts the apple, which was floating there, minding its own business, having become detached from the tree. So it's completely the opposite picture. It's a very counterintuitive picture. Einstein's basic, the genius of Einstein was to realize what we all see now. If you look at the International Space Station and the astronauts floating in it, we're quite familiar with the fact that although those astronauts can be described as being in free fall, freely falling towards the Earth, it looks for all the world as if no forces are acting on the astronauts at all. So if an astronaut gets a cup of water and lets go of it, then it just stays there. It gets a feather and puts it there, and it stays there. It gets a big 1 kilogram mass and puts it there, and it stays there. So the thing that Einstein noticed, which is not explained in any way satisfactorily in Newton's theory, is that obvious thing well, it's not that obvious, but it's obvious if you look at astronauts, that all things fall at the same rate in a gravitational field. If you remove air resistance, so you drop a feather and a hammer, it was famously done on Apollo 15 actually on the moon, drop a feather and a hammer here. If air resistance is taken away, if there's a vacuum here,
Hey,
it would
what's
fall
that,
at
girl?
the same rate. It's an unusual, that's central to the behaviour of gravity. Newton doesn't explain it really. Newton's theory works, but it's rather convoluted. There's no real explanation of that. But in Einstein's theory, the explanation is that they're not falling. It is the ground that is accelerating up, and these things are just sat there minding their own business. Complete redefinition of the picture. But that led... So that's the ambition, Einstein's ambition. He was interested in that. How do I explain that? That led to essentially a geometric theory of gravity, which is that there isn't really a force of gravity at all. What there is the curvature of space and...
Yeah, so he goes on to explain general relativity and all that stuff. But yeah, he was talking about a thought experiment that had to do with reference frames, right? If you're in a box, the box is moving, and you're moving with the box, you're going to feel like you're just floating in the box. So Dell took that seriously, thought that thought experiment represented reality, and ran with it. And Flatzoid took this little clip, right?
I'm going to keep his...
Took a little clip from what Brian just said, from what we just saw Brian say, and he claims that's globe rhetoric.
His statement on screen while Brian Cox says it to him again. Okay.
Apple doesn't hit Newton on the head because the Earth pulls the apple down. The apple hits Newton on the head because Newton accelerates upwards and headbutts the apple.
So that's the dishonesty of this piece of shit, Flatzoid, is cherry picking a little quote out of a big long explanation demonstrating that it's a thought experiment and not real life. So then I posted this. Go to my channel. It's not globe rhetoric. It's a thought experiment about the frames of reference, and you're not smart enough to call Dell on the fact that he thought a thought experiment was real life. So then Flatzoid posted this.
I wouldn't want to drop a.
I'm going to keep his.
Let's see where. And people ask me why I pity Sean. So this was my response, and this is his response. Agreed with Dell. So my point then? No, you're not your point. Dell pushing globe rhetoric. No, he's not pushing globe rhetoric. He thought that the thought experiment was real, and Flatzoid still isn't sharp enough to understand that. Yeah, just doesn't understand it. So let's see. But let's go back to what he says. Hold on.
His statement on screen while Brian Cox says it to him again. Okay.
Apple doesn't hit Newton on the head because the Earth pulls the apple down. The apple hits Newton on the head because Newton accelerates upwards and headbutts the apple.
One more time. Just in case. Just in case Dal doesn't understand.
Apple doesn't hit Newton on the head because the Earth pulls the apple down. The apple hits Newton on the head because Newton accelerates upwards and headbutts the apple.
Thank you very much.
Concussion much?
There we go, Dal.
Yeah, you're showing a clip that if allowed to be taken out of context, agrees with Dell. Debunks your relative density disequilibrium. So you're not smart enough to understand shit there, Flatzoid. Anything that you say debunks someone usually debunks you. So, yeah, it's hilarious, Martin. It really is. Anyway, on with it.
But that's bad, though. I still can't believe people actually believe that answer.
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
I'm just at a loss. And there's still people. It's like, okay, let's put this to rest. You know, gone over it on my show. You've gone over it on your show. And there's still these people going, oh, yes, it is. It's going. Well, okay. All right, then.
You know what's the sad thing about it, though?
Later, Chaff.
You know what's the sad thing about it, though? They're going and saying, oh, it's unfalsifiable.
Yes, God is unfalsifiable. Things fall down because of gravity. No, things fall down because God told them to. Okay. That's an unfalsifiable narrative. Well, can God do anything? Yeah. Can God do anything you say he can do? Yeah. So it's unfalsifiable. You can't falsify God. You can't falsify a supernatural force that can do whatever you want it to do. I mean, he's so fucking stupid, he doesn't even know what the word unfalsifiable means. Let's look it up. Unfalsifiable definition means something cannot be proven false and therefore is not scientific. Yeah, for example, the belief that your dog dreams about rabbits is unfalsifiable because it's impossible to test whether it's true or not. Religion is unfalsifiable because whatever you come up with to falsify it, they'll say, well, God just wants it that way. Right? That's unfalsifiable, dipshit.
You can't falsify their narrative. Yes, we can. Let me show you.
We can do that.
Well, that's like saying...
That was very intelligent there, dumb fuck. Wow.
That's like with my chicken analogy. Okay? I can turn into a chicken at will, and you can't prove that I can't.
Right, that would be unfalsifiable.
Okay, that's what they're doing. You can't prove that I can't turn into a chicken.
Mhm.
The burden of proof's on me.
Then you must be
So
a
if
chicken.
you're claiming an upward rising Earth, you better have some fucking evidence for it.
Hey,
I'm
Globe
in the
Warford,
chicken.
is this
Hey guys.
Joe?
Yep.
Yes,
Hey
of
guys.
course it
I'm
is.
here to
What
defend the
does it say?
ball.
Oh boy.
Tell us how it feels to know that it's no longer a globe.
No, but it's a globe.
Oh, he's in denial.
It has to be, dude. Like honestly, like you're sitting here and you think it's flat. Like what the hell are you talking about? Have you not seen a hill before?
Yeah, I've seen the hills. Yes.
The Earth's not smooth, dude.
I got a question
Oh.
for you. Globe,
Oh,
I
that's
got
a
a
bunch of
question.
jibber jabber, Jeff. You know, station. You know,
I mean, they have no concept of what flat means. Flat. Let's look up images of flat. These are flats. It's not showing me anything about surface flatness. Flatness. So this table looks flat, doesn't it? You can't see that. Flatness. So we got something that's flat, right? Like this table's flat, but it's off within 0.1 millimeters. But we say it's flat because it's flat. And if you saw any photographs of surface flatness, let's see, now we're getting more into it. Yeah, here we go. Technically, this is flat right here. Because each one of these numbers is microns. But if you look at this from a larger scale, it's flat. So, yeah.
whatever. It's a bunch of like, you know, words.
I mean, that's just an excuse. The Earth's flat. No, it's not. Why do you say the Earth's flat? Oh, I don't say the Earth's flat. It has hills.
Word solid. Word solid. Get your ranch for the word solid.
Hold on. If
Well, Globe,
global,
I've got a question for you. Do you also believe your Earth to be accelerating up like the Deltadians?
No, because that's a thought experiment. That's not real life.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
At the same time as being a
well,
Well, Brian Cox said it. Eh?
if
Oh, yeah.
the
No, he didn't. He fucking didn't, you lying sack of shit.
globers can say if we shrink the Earth down to the size of a cue ball, it's so smooth, then we can say if we shrink the flat disc to the size of a coin, it's the smoothest coin. So that's why.
Nah, it's not smooth. That guy was wrong when he said that. That guy's a retard when he said that.
So this is the bad faith that they come in with.
Well, then I've got a question for you, Globe. Think like a Deltadian quickly. If it's a flat disk going constantly upwards, why is there different rates of acceleration measured at different locations?
No clue.
Yeah, that's a good question. If relative density is the reason why things fall down, why do things change density? How do things change density? How do objects change their density, there, dipshit? Depending on where you are on the flat disk.
Must be the gravity, dude.
There's no
EFOS effect.
Yeah, exactly. You should watch.
So he just says a word that he heard that sounds important, so he repeats it. Just doesn't mean anything, doesn't have anything to do with what he's talking about, but they'll say it because it sounds smart.
What's his name? Bob the Science Guy. He's got excellent videos on that.
You ever seen a giraffe in quicksand?
Wait, you mean Bob the Science Guy that showed the little airplane going on a globe and wanted to say
Yeah,
that?
yeah. But that was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys couldn't understand it, could not fucking comprehend it. That's how stupid you are.
That's why I had no response to that.
Yeah.
Yahweh bless you.
Yeah,
Have a good
you
day.
got whacked.
Later, Jeff.
Cheers,
You
Jeff.
totally
Thanks for coming, man. Blessings.
Keith, you totally got whacked with that one, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Luca's
Yeah.
here. Hey, Luca.
Hello.
So, Luca, hi, Luca. How does it feel? How does it feel to be part of Globers Anonymous?
What?
What's that, by the way? What is?
It's people. It's the Globers coming out of realizing the Earth is flat now. So they are all depressed and stuff because we took the globe away. So they come.
When did that fucking happen? When did that happen, Flatzoid? When did you debunk the globe or prove your flat Earth? You've not done that, you lying sack of fuck. God, what a pathetic lying shithead. Seriously. Why is that not centered? I noticed that we had a lot cut off here. What the hell? I think I know why. Sorry. I guess we could play it as I'm doing this, right?
And get some pampering.
Well, I mean, I'm
Self-help
still
group.
in the I cog this stage right now, so I need a bit of help.
Well,
Yeah,
the first
that's-
step, the very first step is admitting that you have a problem.
I'll help you.
Came to believe that our delusions were unmanageable and that our lives had become hell because of them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got a voting system going here. It's like what's the island or whatever. So everybody in chat, because I see people not really want Luca. Type 1 in chat if Luca should stay. Type 2 if he is voted out. Sorry, Luca.
Okay.
The island will speak.
Sorry.
You can put a poll.
So that's just cowardice. That just demonstrates your cowardice.
Up if you want.
So you want people to come in and talk about the globe and explain the globe, but you don't want them there, so you let people vote to boot them, right? Is that the level of honesty we're working with? The good faith effort that we're doing here?
No, we really got a poll.
Have a poll.
The poll
okay.
says, "Are you a globe defender? Will you come and chat?" And yes, I am. Please help me. I'm in. 33%. That would be you, Luca, because you just came in. And no, we are
So you really don't want anybody to come in that knows what they're talking about.
not. We are long past the globe lie. 65%. I just want to say thank you very much, Godzilla, for your super chat. He says, Luca, Luca, the only thing you're good at is getting super chat money for Flatzoid. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really
He is a
appreciate
farm.
it, Godzilla. You rock. Okay, there's a whole bunch of twos. Sorry, Luca, you are voted off.
Okay, wait. I'll live on my own. Don't kick me. I don't
No
like getting
stress.
kicked.
Thanks for coming, by the way, Luca.
See you guys.
Thank you.
What a bunch of fucking cowards. Just the echo it's the echo chamber. Oh, we don't want to hear any truth. No, we just want to compliment each other on our bullshit.
Bye-bye.
Down the chute.
So sad.
And- Luca, you
Bye,
are
Luca.
the weakest link.
He just went right.
Yeah, first off, that's the wrong show. And no, Luca came on in good faith to present his evidence, and you kicked him off because you're a lying sack of shit who can't stand truth. It's like poison to these people.
Back to doing gravity. He isn't ever going to kick his addiction.
He's probably putting out a new video right now.
Now let's see if they talk shit about Luca.
He threw in another super chat, right?
Why would somebody want to go where they're not wanted?
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it.
It's crazy.
Good question.
Well, at least you.
Well, I don't know. YouTube has basically said we don't want flat Earth content, but you keep coming back. Why do you keep doing that?
were kind to.
Can you take a hint?
For a reason. He's doing it. He's doing.
But no. Why? What do you mean? Hold on a second. Yeah, the poll was, would you like to come in and talk? It's an invitation, man. It's an invitation. You invited him there, and now you're saying he's not wanted? Of course he's not wanted because he speaks truth.
Doing it to fight. He's
Hey,
doing
Real
it to fight
Cygnus.
favor with his peers.
Hey, Diver Dan. Hey, Real Cygnus. Hey, Martin. Hey, West Side Girl.
You know what I mean? The people he looks up to, like the FTFE gods and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Hello. Strytorchius, who are you?
Man, they just really do not like anybody who proves them wrong, do they? They call them what they are, religious. They claim to be religious, but they use religion as an insult. Just fucking amazes me.
Is this volume okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Are you a globe believer? Hello?
No, but you're really quiet.
Hello?
We're gonna get porn bombed in 3, 2,
Yeah.
2,
1.
Whoa.
Oh, yes,
Relax.
yes.
Listen.
She's here.
Do you believe in the globe? Simple question.
So
That's what we're here to talk about that specifically.
No, you're not. You just booted Luca off. You're not there to talk about the globe. You're there to talk about how it hurts your feelings.
We don't
we're
judge.
not going to insult
We know
him.
because we were all there once. We were all there once. Right?
okay. So today, I saw your poll a little bit ago. The other options were about relative density disequilibrium. So I would like to talk about that. And I'm not here to prove you wrong. I just want to learn. Like, we all live on the same world. We all
Want to learn? You're in the wrong place, sister.
see the same simple observations, like the sun rising and setting and things falling, and we come up with different explanations for that. And I find that so fascinating, even if I'm a glober. Like, I just want to learn about flat Earth.
And I appreciate you coming in. And yeah, you're always welcome to come in. See, I appreciate people like you, actually, because we get a lot of globe trolls, which is sad. But yeah, we're more.
Globe troll, person that debunks flat Earth. That's what a globe troll is. I think I hate some more than flat. Yeah, he's a pretty detestable fuck.
Than happy to just have a normal conversation.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen a real globe person come up, and I'm actually interested in this conversation now.
Yeah. I mean, when I told my friends, they were all like, oh, you're going to a flat earther stream, you should just troll them. But I'm like, no, I want to have a real conversation.
That's what's interesting, story, is that why would that be their response to you doing that? Why would it be automatically you should go troll them instead of, wow, that's interesting, let's see what they have to offer?
Because they've probably seen what you have to offer, and you've got nothing to offer. You've absolutely nothing. Everything that you offer has been debunked. So, yeah.
It's right off the bat, it's on to the ridicule, and I can tell you where it comes from. It comes from the conditioning that was given to you. If you'll remember.
Oh, the conditioning. So you speak from experience? You speak from someone who's been through that conditioning? No, you don't. You're a fucking idiot. You gave up on your education.
Remember back when you were really little, they told you in school something along the lines of, back in the old days, when people weren't as smart as we are now, people thought the earth was flat and you would roll off the edge. Ha, 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 ha. And then.
Yeah, some people probably thought that, but we've proven that you can't. So.
they show you a picture of a
I know a flat earther never proved that.
ship sailing over the edge of the earth, right? And it's ridiculous. And you're supposed to laugh at it. This is part of the conditioning.
Yes, you're supposed to laugh at silly things. That's human nature, to laugh at things that are so fucking ridiculous that they're funny.
And then when you memorize the crap that they told you were told that you were smart because you memorized that crap. Even if you didn't understand it, you didn't have any critical thinking abilities at that point in time. And so you swallowed it up, and they said, "You're really smart. Boy, I'll tell you, you'll probably be an astronaut one day," or some shit along those lines. And now in adulthood, that's carried over. And a
Yeah.
lot of times when
And
people, they get challenged with it, they automatically go right back to that. And they thought they'd sail off the edge. Ha, 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 ha. You see?
I'm still a space cadet. Still a
I mean, you guys talk about the ancients so much. That's what the ancients thought. But now the ancients are wrong. Now the ancients are just silly people. I'll be right back. I need to get some coffee.
and and to say it's not pushed would be a lie, because you search up flat Earth, what do you see? Just go to images. It's a disc in space, or it's like really weird stuff. Even on YouTube, you see the first ones. It's always like anti-flat Earth stuff.
You will find that when you
Well, we've tried to get you to tell us what's outside of the flat Earth, right? It can't just be a nothing void, a void of nothingness. There has to be something around it, right? So what do you guys give us? Oh, it's an endless plain with lands that are unexplored, and we can't explore them because we can't get out to the ice wall because of the Antarctic Treaty. That's what you give us. So we take your lack of explanation, we fill in the blanks. So
start using, because they love to scream that you deny science.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
you do.
Well, you want to know more about relative density disequilibrium.
So on to my first
there you
question.
go, denying science.
So is relative density disequilibrium, is it supposed to be an attractive force or a repulsive force from the medium, or is it from the object? Or it doesn't even matter?
It's an unbalanced force, so it's practically
unbalanced
just
force
displacement. So if the medium's not able to support the object, then it has to accelerate because of impulse.
Because of impulse.
Okay, so
because of impulse.
Here
What
in my
impulse?
Notes, it says that, well, so let's say you have a...
What is the impulse? Show us in density or relative. Where's the impulse? See, it's just fucking word salad from this dipshit.
Piece of wood floating in water. So the less dense air above it will push down, and the more dense. Wait, what? Did I say that wrong? Okay.
No, that's what the explanation they give you. But this is what I was trying to say before I got cut off. Okay, they want to scream that if you deny it, that you're denying science. But as soon as you start invoking science, they run away, because science actually proves that shit is not true.
No, it doesn't. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Science proves that science isn't true.
True. That's what happens. So the air is not pushing it down. It's nothing more than this. It's a balance between the object and the medium. Okay? The object will either displace the medium, or the medium will displace the object. In the first case, that means the object will sink. In the second case, that means that the object will float. Okay? It's all to do with, for instance, I've got this lighter right.
But what is the force that gives it direction? Where's the directional force, the vector?
Right here, right? So right where this lighter is at, there is a hole. There's a big hole, the same shape and size of this lighter. But what weighs more, the material that's displaced by this lighter, or the lighter itself? The lighter itself, of course. So the medium cannot support it, and consequently it goes downward. If I increase the density of the medium...
But why? Why does it go downward? There's even less density above it. If you were to measure the density of the air, the medium, above it, it would measure lower than below it. So why doesn't it go up? See, that heavier density would displace it upward.
Medium to a point where,
I mean, if it has a choice, right?
The amount displaced by this object weighs more than the object will go the other direction. It's nothing more than everything wants to be equal. Everything wants to balance.
Right, and the density or the medium below it is denser than the medium above it, so it would want to go toward the direction of lesser density, right?
Yeah, what I usually like trying to bring up is you've obviously watched that Brian Cox video with the bowling ball and the feather in the vacuum.
I have not.
Okay, the thing is, a lot of the times, the only way you guys get your 9.8 meters per second average is based on a vacuum. So
No, you don't have to have a vacuum. You need a vacuum to be very, very, very precise. But I can measure 9.8 meters per second with a ball bearing. One of these. I can measure it with a ball bearing. Now, if you want to eliminate, eliminate conflicting variables, you take away air resistance, which is the only reason why they do it in a vacuum chamber. If you take a 2-pound bowling ball and a 20-pound and a 20-pound cannonball, and you drop them, they're both going to hit the ground at the same rate because they're the same size. They give the same wind resistance. See, the reason we do it in a vacuum is to eliminate conflicting variables like wind resistance. So it's not the only way you can get 9.8 meters per second on an average. You fucking liar.
what they do is the manipulated variable is the medium. They don't actually manipulate gravity, which would be claimed to be the cause for the acceleration.
Right, you don't manipulate gravity. You're eliminating bad variables, which is something you don't fucking know about. Don't have a clue about a variable. You think A can be B and B can be A. That's just not going to happen.
So what they do is actually by default, they're proving our point that it's just the displacement ratios between the object and the medium.
Look, asshole, everything that everybody says doesn't prove your point. Sorry, no matter, even if it's completely opposite of what you say, it doesn't prove your point. Stop fucking saying that, you fucking liar.
No, Supreme Architect, I have not Googled the top 10 anti-flat Earth questions.
But are we making sense to you though? Is there anything else that's you can ask anything?
Yeah, I think I get it, but it seems like whether a medium can support an object.
So I think for my birthday, I'm going to do a like a call-in show, a Discord show, where I'd go on the voice chat and invite people to come in and talk. I think that would be a good way. And even these assholes are invited to come in. As a matter of fact, if anybody's not blocked on his channel, share this little information. Share that I'll be on my Discord. You can find the chat. You can find the link on the description of any of my live videos. And they're welcome to come in and prove their point.
Object is not always the same as.
And I'd really like for someone to go over and do that because they're always whining about people chickening out and not coming onto their show. So let's see if they have the same courage that they espouse.
Whether the medium is denser than the object. For example, you can hold a weight plate which is very dense, but you can hold it in your hand which is less dense. So that's
why it's got to do with displacement. Because also one thing I've realized, a lot of people don't understand the difference between phases. It's like
I'm sorry, August 22nd. Not sure what day that falls on. August 22nd. So 8 days from now.
how can you think? Let's take a pebble.
That would be today's Thursday, Wednesday. So Thursday.
I can sit on a piece of styrofoam. okay? But it can't sit in water. It will sink in water. But then you have to understand styrofoam is a solid. So you have to understand there's different phases. So when we talk about displacement, then it shows that, how can I put it? Like Archimedes principle, you probably know about Archimedes principle.
All right, styrofoam is a solid that encapsulates air. Little tiny balls of air. Little pockets of air. That's why it floats.
Yeah.
If you melt down the polystyrene that's made of and take all the air out, it'll sink. So.
Yeah, it's the same as Archimedes principle with a ship. You've
Yeah,
got
good
this
idea.
heavy, huge ship that's able to float in the ocean because it's been able to displace the pressure equally throughout. So then the water is able to support it. If
Right, it's more buoyant because of gravity. Fucking retard.
you have to take that same ship and let's say just squash it out that it can't displace it, it will sink because it needs that displacement for it to be supported. That's practically just all it is. It's a dance of displacement, which is going to take up what space.
So I guess the next question I had is, well, then what makes things weigh more or less?
Relative density to the medium. Okay, so like a person, let's say a person weighs 350 pounds and they can't do physical therapy. What do they do with them? They put them in the water, don't they? They put them in a tub so that they can exercise because that reduces their weight. Their weight is nothing more than their relative density to the medium that they're in. So if you change the medium, you change the.
No, it doesn't change their weight. They always weigh the same amount. It changes the amount of stress that's put on their joints and on their body because of the buoyancy, because of gravity. Stupid. Jesus, what a fucking idiot.
The weight. It's that simple. We have a quantification scale that we use, whether it be kilograms or pounds or ounces or grams or things. Those are just quantitative units that we use to measure the relative density of an object within a given medium. We call it weight.
In a
No. Sorry, buddy.
bonded medium, it's more buoyant.
So where does weight itself come from?
Right.
What
Displacement ratio.
Yep.
From the what?
Right.
The displacement ratio.
Yep.
The displacement ratio. Okay.
I don't remember what a displacement ratio is.
Let me try and explain. Okay.
Just like with the lighter in the air. The lighter in the air.
If you've ever taken something, how they weigh something, like in a vacuum,
So a balloon without that's open will fall. A balloon with helium in it will rise. A balloon with air in it will fall. A balloon with sulfur hexafluoride will fall. How does the medium outside the balloon know what's inside the balloon? How does it know?
let's say you have a scale and you have a guy on a scale, okay? It will weigh a certain amount.
Because without a directional vector of a force, it would have to know.
But as soon as you evacuate that air inside the chamber, that weight of that man becomes heavier.
He didn't gain mass.
No, he doesn't get heavier. That would require his mass or his density to change. He becomes more buoyant because you're removing the air that's pushing him down. That's what happens because of gravity. See, all these things come back to gravity, moron.
Yes, he gained weight.
Yeah, because the thing is there's less medium to displace. So the more weight that object will have.
Well, yeah, so obviously a different medium will change the weight, but what causes, intrinsic weight? Like if I place two different objects, that can have the same density. If I place them on a scale in the same medium, they can still weigh different things. And why is that?
That's what we're saying. It's based on the medium ratio or how much it displaces. That's why you can have a bowling ball that's flattened out. It's going to weigh the same as a bowling ball that's round. But if you have to place it in a medium, the bowling ball that's flat can float, where the bowling ball that's round won't float because it's not able to displace it.
No, a bowling ball that's flat will sink too, dipshit. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? If you take a bowling ball and flatten it, it's still gonna fucking sink, moron. Oh my God, he thinks that he oh Jesus fucking Christ. Are you
The
kidding
weight,
me?
The weight is just a consequence of its matter, which is the density. But the how can I put it? The ordering of that weight is based on the displacement.
I think she's looking for.
What the fuck did you just say? The ordering of the weight is displacement? Oh my God. What? Jesus fucking Christ, this guy's dumb.
The definition of what mass is.
And they're all dumb. They're all dumb right along with him, man. They just agree with everything he fucking says, no matter how stupid it is. That's called a cult. That's called being in a cult.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I think you're coming from a point where you're still thinking in specific gravity terms, where normal relative density requires gravity.
Oh, okay.
And that makes it a bit more different to understand, because how you understanding it is the object is being forced up due to gravity pushing the medium, pushing the object up. Because that's how the globe explains density, relative density. Because that's why they say it's just scalar.
It's a scalar.
Yeah, so to work out the relative density disequilibrium, you just have to understand there is no force being attributed. It's just simply the interaction between the object and the medium around it. It's almost like Einsteinian general relativity, just in practical use.
No, it's not. It's nothing like that, man. Sorry. God damn it, what a fucking idiot. What a liar.
Well, I still don't really get it. How can something move without a force?
That's it. It's unbalanced. It's an unbalanced force. Everything has a force attributed. Do you know what impulse?
Right, okay, so we have the density, right? We have the density here. And we have all equal density, right? Equal density. And I've stopped it. The forces are balanced, right? It's now stopped. If I take my hand away, what makes this fall? What is the force taking it from where it was in equilibrium to where it's not? Where is that force? You fucking liar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you understand an object has impulse, if it's going to be unbalanced, it's going to accelerate.
Due to its displacement.
Right. For instance, right now, you may not think of it this way, but I am inert. I'm not moving. Okay. Well, I move my hands, but I'm not.
Your brain's inert. That's your brain is inert. That's for sure.
Not moving. I'm sitting here inert. As I sit here inert, my body, my mere presence, is forcing the air to not be where I'm at. And because the air wants to be where I'm at, it is forcing against me at approximately 14.7 pounds per square inch of surface area of my body. Not downward, on all vectors inward on my body.
No, actually downward. It's downward.
Okay. What's creating that force? There's no movement. There's no movement. So what is that force? What is forcing that medium to not be where I'm at and vice versa? Displacement.
Displacement isn't a force. It's not a force.
Sorry, I just have to quickly point on screen. Movember says, gravity isn't even claimed to cause weight. Yet I've got it on screen. The weight of an object is determined by the pull of gravity on it. Thank you for playing.
Oops, Movember.
Yes, you just debunked relative density disequilibrium. Repeat that. So you're agreeing with this. You're agreeing with this. You're using this as a citation to prove you right about relative density disequilibrium, but it says gravity is the force that pulls the object down.
Vice versa. Displacement.
Sorry, I just have to quickly point on screen. Movember says, gravity isn't even claimed to cause weight. Yet I've got it on screen. The weight of an object is determined by the pull of gravity on it.
So where does it? Wait, what? See, listen to what he says.
To not be where I'm at and vice versa. Displacement.
Sorry, I just have to quickly point on screen. Movember says, gravity isn't even claimed to cause weight. Yet I've got it on screen.
Oh, gravity isn't claimed to cause weight. Okay.
The weight of an object is...
Okay, I didn't look it down there. I looked up at the top at the quote.
Determined by the pull of gravity on it. Thank you for playing.
Oops, Movember.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yes, and Dave, you need containment to get that pressure in your on the medium.
Yeah, you're not.
So you're showing something that proves you wrong, and you're saying thank you for playing.
We're going to have any kind of a gas.
Yeah, dropouts teaching physics. Exactly.
Pressure without containment. That's just not.
I mean,
going to happen.
Yeah, you do. It's called the Bernoulli principle. I demonstrated it. You cited it. And Flatzoid mocked me and not you for citing it. So, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
I believe it. I can demonstrate
Okay.
that.
Gravity, even
But
if
you
it
see,
existed, it does not have any effect on gases. There is no downward vector of air. There is no downward
Yeah, there is. How the fuck do you think we can breathe, asshole?
push of air.
yeah, and
But
I
if there were,
tried. Sorry, I just got a question for Strider because believes in the globe. Have you seen any evidence for gravity though?
Yep. What I just did, dropped my lighter, and Cavendish is evidence for gravity, for mass attracting mass, which is what we say gravity is. So there's a lot of evidence. Absolutely.
Okay, I think I forgot
Shit not floating.
what I was going to say. I'm pretty nervous. Sorry, this is
don't be
the first call-in show I've
you're all right.
I've ever been on.
I honestly think
You're going like a champ. You're going like a champ. You're doing just fine, man. Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Actually, you know
You're
what?
doing fine.
I think that's a lie. I think I was lying earlier. There are Globers who come on. I'm saying you're probably the most honest. Like, there's no reason to feel. Because
Don't feel any
other guys
pressure.
some people had an agenda that came on, but you know, you seem to be like.
Even my the people in the chat are saying,
Oh, we have an agenda? We have an agenda? Okay.
shout out to the girl guest. Keep digging and the truth will set you free. Only you can open yourself. Thank you for your £5 super chat, Tony. You rock. See, everybody likes you, and I agree. You're always
See, that's typical cult behavior. Yes, the world is so evil and awful, and just stick with it. You'll understand what the master tells you. You'll understand. Just give him a chance. Just stick with it. We love you.
welcome you. And don't be afraid to ask us anything or whatever. You don't need to worry. We won't insult you or anything, like I said.
No.
Really? Okay. I bet if she starts debunking you, you'll insult her.
We can see people that are honest, and we can see you at least are honest, so that's cool. Always welcome.
Okay, so
You're the biggest lying shit stain on the internet, man.
now I guess.
You wouldn't know honesty if it slapped the cocks out of your mouth.
So I was trying to write down how I think relative density disequilibrium works before I came on, and I think I got it all wrong because I said that the mediums attract and repel the object. So, but
Yeah,
they
you see,
don't,
that's
right?
what I was saying to you. You're still in the mindset of looking at specific gravity, the relative density from the globe side, where you think gravity is forcing the object.
It is. It absolutely is.
And that's why I say that's where the mentality, where the mind block stops. That's what's causing that confusion. You have to take that totally out of the picture and understand there is no such thing as gravity giving that push or pull. You have to understand it's simply just the
Actually, gravity doesn't give a push. Sorry. It only pulls.
relationship between the medium and the object.
Because there's no way you can prove gravity besides on a planetary scale, which none of us can go.
So you can't prove gravity on a planetary scale. Yeah, you can. Look, 1-to-1 scale. The planet I'm on is actual size. This is a lighter. Again, actual size. Gravity, motherfucker. Proven on a global scale.
That gets into war.
Or did he mean that you can't create a laboratory that's the same size as the globe and do an experiment? Is that what he says? Is that what he's thinking? Like a dumb fuck?
Cavendish experiment doesn't prove it.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely does. It proves mass attracts mass, which is exactly what we say gravity is.
So we made some kind of proof of gravity other than, what we explained by density for years.
Could you explain why the Cavendish experiment is invalid?
So you can't use any of the things that prove gravity, but you've got to prove gravity. So I want you to enter the formula 500, right? Or the Indianapolis 500, but you can't use a car or gasoline or any mechanical things. Go.
Well, first, do you understand what an independent variable is?
Yeah.
You don't. You don't understand what variables are at all.
Yeah.
You prove that with your orange and apple bullshit.
Can you tell us what the independent variable is for Cavendish?
Yes, the weights of the balls, the is that right? I get independent and dependent variable mixed up. Independent variable. Whose variation does not depend on that of another. Yes. The independent variable. The attractive force of the mass. The weight's distance. Yeah, the weight's mass, what they're made of, the torsion wire, how thick it is.
I guess that's why you think it's invalid.
Yeah. It's not a scientific
It's not an
experiment.
experiment. Yeah.
Also, it hasn't been replicated.
Well, let's make it break it.
Hadn't been replicated. What the fuck are you talking about? Blue Marble Science built one, stupid. You fucking liar.
Down to even more simpler. What is supposed to be the claim for the cause for the acceleration in Cavendish?
Oh, it can't be duplicated because I saw a video where some guy said it's really hard to set up, and here's a broken one. That's why it can't be duplicated, because of reasons.
That the two balls are attracting each other.
Yeah, but what's the claim for cause? What's the independent variable?
Mass attracts mass, dude.
You put two balls close together and they'll attract each other.
Yeah, no, you see, the thing is, when it creates a hypothesis for it to be scientific, the independent variable is what you state would be the cause for the observed phenomena, which would be the dependent variable. So, the attraction of the balls that you're claiming.
Right. There is no independent variable or dependent variable in a hypothesis. What the fuck are you talking about?
Is attracted because gravity is supposed to be causing this. So gravity is supposed to be the independent variable. Yet the manipulated variable is not gravity. So they can't claim gravity to be the cause if they can't.
What the fuck are you talking about? Mass attracts mass. That's what you're testing.
Manipulate it.
And just saying because they have mass doesn't define gravity.
I mean, listen to these lying fucking gaslighters. They're just feeding your bullshit.
Because we've seen Cavendish demonstrations, so
I hope she's smart enough to realize what's happening.
we go the opposite way. All of a sudden just go erratic. Sometimes nothing ever happens. And there's so much variables that they don't take into account.
No, I think you're talking about the Foucault pendulum, because the if it's built correctly and it's not just a fucking string with a weight on it like Riley had, yeah, it works every time.
When they do these things.
Which invalidates the experiment.
Yeah, it's not an experiment. That's what I said. You have to have an independent and a dependent variable.
No, you don't. No, you don't. MC Toon brought up the benzene molecule. The molecule for benzene. Is it round? Yeah. Let's see if it's round. Oh my God, it's round. They tested it. There was no independent variable, no dependent variable. They just said, I think it could be round. Let's check. And they did. They observed it. That's it. They didn't tweak anything. They didn't change anything. They just observed it. That's called fucking science, asshole.
There is no manipulation of the independent variable for the claim, unless they want to just say mass is the cause, but then you can't change the distances. If you say distance is the cause, you can't see the.
Yeah, you can. You can change the mass, the distance, the tension, the torsion factor of the wire. You can change all that shit, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Mass is the distance. That's the thing. So that's why they come up with it's inversely proportional to the mass and the distance, which isn't gravity. That's just an excuse of claiming gravity where there is no manipulated gravity.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
Mass attracting mass is a myth.
Really? Then why does the Cavendish work? Why does it work? Why do things fall? So, with Cavendish, those balls change density? Is that what you're saying? The air changed density? How do they come together? See, you can't explain these fucking things. You just say, well, it's density, it's the medium. It's unequal. It's an unbalanced force. Obvious effect.
First off, and I wanted to point this out too, is that first, any experiment starts with an observation. In other words, we see something occur in nature.
Right. Yes, we see things occur in nature. We say, why did that go that way?
Now, has anybody ever in nature seen two objects drawing together, or two big balls start rolling together toward one
Yeah. Look, here's one object. That's another object. There you go.
another, or feeling a pull from a mountain or any other thing like that? No, never has this been observed. Cavendish wasn't trying to prove mass attracting mass. He was trying to calculate the mean density of the Earth.
Right, and he used a device that measured the attractive force between two masses.
There we go. And then they hijacked that and then said it's gravity.
Just like they was making this pill for heart medication. It was a blood pressure medication. They made it, and they came out with it, and they tested it, and what they found out was it gave people a boner. So they ended up marketing it as Viagra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said the only attraction
It's
I've ever
amazing.
seen myself towards my wife. That's about it.
Yes.
And the larger the mass, the more gravity is supposed to pertain, right?
Yeah.
Tony Whitcomb, thank you very much for your £20 super chat. Really appreciate it. He says, for the girl, if you hold a weight that you can't support, you have to let it go, like the tree and apple, and hold a massive helium balloon and you can't support it and rise up. Enough said. Easy explanation. Thank you very much.
Right, very good explanation of gravity.
Tony, you rock, man. I hope you understand what he was saying.
Yeah,
Yes, he's describing gravity.
I understood that. And if you don't want to call me the girl, I know my name is a bit long, but just the first 4 letters. The first 5 letters or first 4, I guess. That's
okay.
You girl, me guy. You girl, me guy.
What's up, Butted?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Mr. Biscuit.
Biscuits is here. Sovereign and I were up late last night.
Yeah, we were watching you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we watched.
But let's get back to it.
Jiggy with it.
Is she still on? Because I was listening to.
Yeah, but you can ask your questions.
Yeah, my only question is, I guess, what else do you really have for the globe questions, right? I mean, is density all you wanted? And then I guess we went to gravity, right? What else?
I think our main thing was trying to understand this relative density.
Yeah, trying to understand.
Yeah.
But like I say, I've seen this a lot. I've seen it's the same problem with a lot of people that believe in the globe, because they come from the mindset that gravity is this force, and it's the cause for things having buoyancy and things. You understand? So
Yes, because that's reality.
their whole mindset doesn't understand that gravity is not there. It's just the interaction between the object and the medium because of displacement. So it's difficult for them to wrap their head around that.
And how do we prove that? Because they always have to bring up vacuum.
It's always the manipulated variable is always the medium or the object.
Correct.
So scientifically, we are able to show an experiment where the manipulated variable is always the displacement ratios. They're not able to show any experiment where gravity is the cause for anything.
Yeah, we have. You just deny it.
So the word force, or momentum, not force. Excuse me.
Well, I've actually got a question for Stry though. Do you believe gravity to be a force or not, based on your globe belief?
I sort of know the entire thing that Newtonian gravity is a force. Einsteinian is not really. But for most applications, you can treat it like a force.
Yes, and that's the issue that you guys sit with, because
Right. In Newtonian physics, gravity is a force. In Einsteinian physics, gravity is not a force.
it has over superseded it. So it's not correct call.
No, it has not been superseded by Einstein. Sorry, buddy. Einstein even said he did not supersede Newton, and he never could. So that's another lie that you're telling, because you've been instructed, you've been educated that that's not true.
Something acting like a force, even though it's not a force. So yeah, you can think of it as a force that they said, but just because you think of it as a force doesn't make it 1 degree.
Right. Just because you think it's relative density disequilibrium doesn't make it so when every bit of science is against you. Sorry, pal. You're just burying yourself. I mean, every accusation is a confession with these assholes.
What do they say? It's a pseudo force.
It's a pseudo force. Like centrifugal forces and stuff.
Right. According to Einsteinian physics, gravity is a pseudo force that's a product of the unbalanced masses and whatever. But in Newtonian physics, what we use here on Earth, it's a force.
Sometimes pulls and sometimes pushes.
Do you hey, Lex, do you have the Action Lab
And
demonstration with the styrofoam?
And no, gravity never pushes. Gravity always pulls. If a helium balloon goes up, it's because gravity is pulling the air down and the air is forcing the balloon up, not gravity. Fucking retards.
Styrofoam on hand?
Yes, I actually made a video of it.
They just keep saying the same things over and over and over again, no matter how many times they've been debunked and proved wrong. It's a cult. It's their mantras. It's fucking sad.
Yeah, do you want to?
No, go ahead. Because I know Roger wanted me to show that video as well with the styrofoam.
No, yeah, like Saab was talking about, when you go into a bathtub, it displaces, but when the object can't displace it, floats over, right? So when air can't support something, it falls down, but it is supported by the water, so you don't have to worry about it sinking.
So why do boats go partially into the water? If they are less dense, right? If their density, their overall density is less than the water, why do they go into the water at all?
Tony asks, if you drop a...
I mean, does its density change the further it goes into the water? Becomes less dense or more dense? How does that work, man?
Palmer stone in water, will it float or sink?
It'll float. Has air pockets trapped in it.
Yep.
Crush it up and solidify it into one cohesive mass, and it'll sink right to the bottom.
Tell that to Phil Bell.
Phil calculated how fast, due to gravity, it will sink.
I've got a piece of pumice about this big. It's about like this. And I've taken it before, and I've showed people my rock collection and stuff, and I'm going, oh, yeah, here, check this out. And I'll throw it to them, and they freak out because it's a big rock, and it lands in their hands, and it's about like a sponge or something. It doesn't weigh shit.
Yeah, I really like
it. Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's surprising, because I think anybody who looks at you, if you can lift a rock and throw it, it won't hurt anybody. If you have that ability to lift a rock, it's not going to hurt anybody.
Well, whoever wanted to come in Heavenly, there is one place open again if you want to come in.
Well, I think the next question I wanted to ask was, where does down even come from? For example, if you have the bowling ball on a slope, if you tilt your head to the side, it sort of looks like the bowling ball is on a flat surface. So why is it not on a flat surface?
It's electrostatic. I don't really understand what you're saying. Say it again.
Well,
hydrostatic. What the fuck are you talking about? They just say words that they think make them sound smart. It's like just in the middle of a conversation saying gravity or science. Just you saying the word science makes you smart. It doesn't work like that.
I mean, where does the concept of down even come from? What decides that things should fall down?
I love this question.
Yes, just like I explained to you, the wall leaning, that's what decides down.
Well,
because you know when you have, let's say put it this way, we have entropy. You understand entropy is a natural law.
Uh-huh.
And it's always a tendency for something to happen. So the natural law for things wide down is simply that. It's the universal direction based on its relativity.
Now if you're like a buoyant
What?
If it was like a helium balloon that's going up, then it's gonna go up.
That's what gives it vector, yeah. I mean, just think how unordered nature would be if we didn't have the natural...
You mean gravity? I mean, if it's relative density disequilibrium, why do density columns mix up under free fall? Why don't they order themselves? I mean, their densities haven't changed. The density of the medium around them hasn't changed. Why do they stay mixed up if you take the downward acceleration out of the picture? Do they change densities?
Stacking of up and down. Absolutely. Because then things would fall sideways.
Yeah, it's got to be a law. It's got to be a law from God.
It's a set condition.
Yeah, it's a natural law that governs things to have order, just like entropy is a law to govern.
Show us this natural law. Show us in any publication this natural law that just tells things to go down. that tells things to go down if they're heavier, or up if they're lighter. It has to distinguish between two things. So how would this natural thing know that a water balloon isn't a balloon filled with helium, or a balloon is filled with air, or a balloon is filled with helium? How does this tendency discriminate? How does it distinguish between a balloon, which is heavier, all right, sees balloon and it says, oh, well, that's heavier than air, so it should go down, but it goes up. But this one's the exact same size, exact same balloon, but it's going down. What the fuck? How does it distinguish between the two? Fucking idiots.
So you need to have a relative direction based on nature. Otherwise, it'd be chaos.
So I guess here, the fact that things just fall down is just supposed to be the underlying thing you accept, even though you don't exactly know why. Just like in the theory.
We know why. It's the condition has been set. The condition is there.
What condition? What condition? What the fuck are you talking about?
There's no other condition.
If there's something not supporting something, then it drops. That's why I'm not going to drop my phone, because I know it's not going to be supporting. But I will drop a helium balloon because I know.
They just don't fucking know anything about anything. They do not understand physics at all. So whatever their lack of knowledge comes out of their mouth, that's truth to them.
It's going to go up, or it's just
fucking sad.
Because that's somewhat of a point force.
I mean, it's really, really, really sad.
Going through somewhere upward? Are you sure? Jesus.
I honestly might convert to upward rising earth and then become I'm going to come back. I'm going to learn all the arguments and then come back.
But everything is electromagnetic as well, so that's what sets the down force, right?
I just want to ask, Sky, what do you think of with the upward rising Earth?
God,
the upward rising Earth. That's the thing that the Flat Earth Wiki believes, right?
Yeah, the Flat Earth Society nonsense people. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a thought experiment about reference frames.
It seems like
it holds no basis, right? It holds no basis in reality. You see things fall. You don't see the Earth rise up.
Well, the entire point of the upward rising theory is that you can't tell the difference. Like, I don't know if you guys are fans of Whitsitt, but was it Whitsitt? I don't really remember.
Whitsitt doesn't. He pushes electrostatics.
Yeah,
but he talks a lot about kinematic equivalence, right? Or was that someone else?
Yeah, no, it's Whitsitt.
Yeah, I'm down with that. What the upward rising Earth is nothing more than a revamping of the equivalency principle. Okay, and that's nonsense.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you're supposed to actually agree with him on the upward rising Earth to an extent, because it's the same globe rhetoric.
As you're spinning
relativity. Yeah.
You can't feel this.
No, it's fucking not. It's not part of the globe rhetoric, you fucking liar. It's a thought experiment.
Spin the same way you can't feel the upwards rising Earth. There's things that are outside of your perception, but you still believe.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had the thought that, hey, maybe sheep can fly. Maybe there's a possibility that sheep can fly. And I'm going to come up with this convoluted explanation of how sheep could actually fly. Do you think that would be sheep rhetoric?
The problem, though, is for the flat disk upward rising, they've got a lot more issues than what the globe has for their upward rising.
Well, wait, if the Earth was rising upwards, then when you fired a rocket off, wouldn't it at some point stop moving completely and then start taking off again? Considering that it's fighting against the upward push or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
The thing is, you see, the thing is, the upward rising Earth.
What the fuck?
To say it's constant. So therefore, you don't have.
That doesn't make sense. Constant would mean that it would balance out.
Yeah, so therefore you won't have what they call 1G anymore. You won't have anything because you need acceleration to give that force, because they're claiming that the acceleration is what gives it that force. So if it's a constant, it's at equilibrium. It can't give that force anymore. That's the same as when you climb in a car and you accelerate. When it's accelerating, you're pushed back in your seat. Once you're going that constant speed, you're not pushed back into your seat anymore.
So it's almost like you have a conservation of momentum, and would be the same reason as you don't feel movement when you're standing on the Earth, right?
So they can't claim it to have it constant. And if they're claiming it is accelerating, then what's it accelerating into? We should be faster than the speed of sound, speed of light by now.
Oh, way faster.
There's just so many, and that means your G-force that they're claiming with accelerating up Earth would be increasing. with time. So we would be getting heavier and heavier and heavier until we just splatter because we can't take it anymore.
You know, all Dell has to say is God says it so. God says that's why that's the explanation, and they can't argue with it. That would be called an unfalsifiable narrative.
Pools of blood on the floor.
Wait,
She's not holding it any longer, Captain. She's breaking up.
about
I'm doing all I can, Captain.
the rocket thing, I was under the impression that you guys believed rocket launches were fake anyways.
No,
No.
no, the rocket launches are real. Where they go is fake. The destination.
Yeah, just search up rocket trajectories. They always level out, and you know they're not going into outer Earth orbit.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they do. You ever see a rocket launch from an airplane? I have. I've not been on the airplane, but I've seen the video of it, and it doesn't go back down. It just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So, it's your frame of reference. It's your perspective of how you see that rocket, and you think it's going down, and you're gullible as fuck, so you believe other videos that tell you that.
Usually explain it like an air show. You know, when you go to air show and you watch them fly and stuff, it's just a show. They're doing all these aerobatics and stuff as a show. Yeah, rockets are real, no doubt about it. There's rockets that go up, they come down, but it's the.
So NASA's supposed to be making these billions of dollars per second from the government or from people, from taxpayers, right? But then they spend millions of dollars on, or billions of dollars on equipment, on materials. They spend all this time building these things just to crash them into the ocean so that someone can get rich off no profit.
Destination they go, that's the fake, because they can't go.
See, I mean, if you take all your money and you put it into projects and you pay people and you outsource and you buy materials and you pay for rent and utilities and shit like that, you don't have any money left. So crashing a rocket that you've put all this money into is just wasting money. So how is anybody getting rich?
Space.
Satellites are also somewhat real, right?
Is there a cat somewhere?
Yeah, I hear a cat. Isn't my Roger, maybe? Ach, by Ryan.
There's your rocket trajectories.
I love it. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle.
Point Nemo.
Don't you think?
Do you remember the movie Finding Nemo?
Mm-hmm.
And
But don't you
Dory
think?
was always forgetting.
But don't you think also it's odd the way they Cape Canaveral is situated, and how they shoot it into the ocean side?
Yes, because they use the spin of the Earth to give it a slight nudge, to give it a little more momentum. So.
Well, I mean, if upwards rising Earth is true, doesn't that mean that the rockets could just crash back down while they're over the ocean so no one notices?
They do.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Show us a video of a rocket crashing to the ocean that supposedly went into orbit. Show us that.
Have you
ever heard of
Finding Nemo? Your imagination. That's the only thing that's ever been to space. The only thing that's ever left Earth is your imagination.
Astronauts go to Albuquerque.
Be careful, Sav. Be careful, Sav. The
Oh, yeah,
people,
that
the
line
locals
from
are chatting.
Conspiracy
I had an
Music
LSD trip and I saw it.
So all you have is memes and your opinion, and nothing else.
Planet X. I saw the aliens on Planet X. Did you know that? It was even in my dreams.
I've seen them too, man.
Yeah, other than flat Earth, UFOs and alien lore, it's pretty much my favorite conspiracy to research. It's so interesting.
That's the end. That's the end of the conspiracy, basically. That's the end of the rabbit hole. They're just deceptions and demons.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you? Is it okay if I ask you? Are you spiritual?
And flat Earth that you can't prove, that you can't measure, you can't present a map for or a model. That's not made up. That's not just a story.
Do you believe in a god or?
I mean, not really, but I don't really think.
Yeah, that's what I'm just
relevant
asking because we were talking
right
about
now.
demons and stuff. That's why I was just very curious.
But I'm just saying that's a part of the rabbit hole you're gonna find. That's usually the end of the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by the end. I didn't mean that's literally the end of your conspiracy. Yeah. I mean, interesting thing about it is that they, for some reason, appear to be beautiful every time.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm so quickly share that video with the styrofoam. I think I might have to forward it to where the styrofoam is.
Looks fun.
I think it's around about here.
That's it.
Today I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry. That's it.
Oh, that's
Everybody-
space combat. Oh man.
Oh, oh wait, I wanted to ask you something. Are you flat earthers
No,
annoyed when
man,
you
I
see
love
all
that
these
shit.
globes
I
or
love that
science
shit,
fiction
man.
results or stuff like
I
that?
purposely watch them. One, because I like a good story. Two, because I sit there and I laugh and I make fun of the shit that they're doing and going, oh, okay, so now we have explosion sounds in space. Okay, there's no air. All right, cool. You know, I mean, I watched one that was.
Man. You rock, Larry, by the way.
He is right. He was right earlier about these people saying Adam is Earth. Adam is not Earth. Adam's name means blood.
Adam's name means man.
Well,
Adama.
First man.
It comes from in the Strong's Concordance. If you look at it comes from blood, but yeah, it means man. Every man is Adam because we all come from Adam. But,
Yeah, sure.
Wait, hold on. Can I say something? So I think Alexi Drago, he's coming at relative density disequilibrium from the angle I had before I came on. He thinks it's pretty much a force, and if there's a larger density difference between the steel and the vacuum, then the steel will have
That's
a
why I
greater
was
force.
explaining it to you. You guys are coming from that mindset of gravity being a force that's forcing the buoyancy. You know what I mean?
But it's
But
always
that's why you have to, when you think of relative density disequilibrium, you have to take that mindset of gravity's forcing things out of the equation because it's not there.
Right, because you eliminated it from your bullshit. All right, see you, Martin. Thanks for stopping by. So you've got to take gravity out of the equation and replace it with bullshit that we can't really explain. We just say things. So you have to ignore everything that every physicist, every scientist, every engineer has ever learned and ever demonstrated in reality. You have to just ignore all those people and listen to the bullshit that we're spewing. The fucking hubris of these idiots.
So yeah, and you would usually assume that a greater force would mean a greater acceleration. So then why would they fall down at the same rate? But now I get that
it's just displacing.
It's not really a force.
If there's no friction to displace it.
Do you see how easy it is once you don't have to confuse yourself in all the math magics?
Yeah, see how easy it is when you don't have to use your brain? You can just consider everything you say to be reality. You see how easy that is?
It's very easy. I'm serious.
Good Lord.
Just because math might prove
I mean, how fucking sad are these people?
something to be true doesn't mean it's true.
Math doesn't prove things; it only describes them.
That's a language.
Yeah, exactly. So don't get confused in math magics. That's all I'd say.
yeah. Funny thing is, I've been looking specifically for like
Math magics. See, back in the medieval days, even before that, you know, pre-man or whatever, prehistory, there was always someone that was smarter than everyone else in the tribe or the village or whatever, and he understood science, and he could perform these scientific experiments, and people thought it was magic, that he was a wizard. So so the ignorant rabble always called the smart person who understood science a wizard, a magician, use things like mathemagics. So these people are basically telling you, without saying the words, that they're the ignorant motherfuckers in the village, and the Globers are the wizards.
weird math. There's this thing called Gabriel's horn, which is it has math for it, but it's essentially an object it's like the Tesseract, but it can't exist in reality because it's an infinite surface with a finite space. So it's just stuff like that, like they can come up with anything.
Right, a sphere is a infinite surface on a finite space. You can poke a pin anywhere on that sphere and do it forever, for infinity. Just keep poking it. You'll never run out of places to poke.
Like an Escher, like one of those Escher drawings. I think I got one I saved here recently. Oh,
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up? How's it going?
What's up? I came here to basically debate before the Ether guys are going to make their stream, and I wanted to join them later. So I came here just to like warm up. So I heard that you were talking about math. Do you want to debate that? We can debate also relative density disequilibrium, perspective, or anything like that of your choosing.
Anything you want, man. We're here for you.
Well, math does prove some stuff, but not from the algebra part, because you have algebra, arithmetic, and also geometry, which is a part of math, for example. Let's say that you have a leather that is supported.
Right. To say that math doesn't prove things, science doesn't prove things, math does.
Supported by a wall, for example. And I know that the distance between the top of the ladder that is supported on the wall from the ground is a certain amount, let's say 4 meters. And I also know that the distance from the bottom of the ladder, to the wall is 3 meters. Based upon that, using basically Pythagoras' theorem, we can deduct that the length of the ladder will be 3 squared plus 4 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So it will be the square root of that. So 3 squared would be 9, 4 squared would be 16, 9 plus 16 would be 25, and the square root of 25 would be 5. So we know how much the ladder, the length of the ladder.
Yeah, but you see, though, the issue is when we're saying math lies, because it just describes things. You see, you use math to describe that leather belt, okay? But you can use math to describe things like phlostogen, for instance. Do you understand phlostogen is not a thing, but there's an equation that describes it perfectly?
How Superman flies.
Yes. Yeah, you can create an equation that shows why kryptonite is deadly to Superman. But is that going to mean that's reality?
In this case...
Wow. What an idiot.
You're making a description for something that does not exist. Length does exist. And we can measure it in meters, miles, and inches, whatever you want.
That length was still a length before you measured it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a point that I wanted to make about...
the length was still a length before you measured it. No. No, it wasn't.
Gases, but basically what you're saying is that math describes, but we also have axioms, which are postulates about reality.
Let's put it this way. There is math for black holes.
Would you mute your shit, dude?
I can't hear you, sorry.
So there's math for black holes.
Yeah.
Right. Black holes exist.
What does it? What are you referring to with math? What are you referring specifically with math for black holes? Because that's too general. Like, are you describing a certain characteristic of black holes using math? What characteristic would it be?
Okay, let's do it another way. Because
let's go somewhere. Let's talk about something different because I can't explain it.
Black holes exist, therefore mathematically white holes have to exist as well.
Well, that's an effect of general relativity, and general relativity is a theory about reality. It's not math strictly, because we're talking about reference.
General relativity is mathematical.
Not really, because you require all.
I mean, this rude fucking fuck doesn't even mute his fucking microphones. So you got all this fucking background shit going on.
Experiments made by Einstein in the past, like for example the Eddington experiment, and more of them to actually be talking about. Well, and we can also talk about science if you want. You don't require causality to talk about science.
You do require causality to talk about science, because science is specifically the cause for effect.
Well, first of all, we have to establish something very important, which is that definitions are not propositions. Do you agree?
Yeah, but definitions give you on the playing field, everybody knows you're on the same page. If you don't have a set definition, no one's going to know what you're talking about, because you could be talking about...
Right. If you start redefining the definitions of words, then you're just speaking horse shit. Right? Right? When you start calling branches of science pseudoscience because they hurt your fucking feelings, people are going to think you're full of shit.
Totally different if you don't have the same definition.
Yes, you can make whatever definition you want. If you're going to be using a custom definition that is not like the one that is already in the dictionary, you have to tell everyone the definition, obviously. But just because it is in the dictionary does not mean that it is a definition of a certain thing, right?
No, it can only become in the dictionary because it's the definition of a word.
Well, but it was established by humans. It's not something that we prove.
Something in the dictionary, it's the established definition of the word. Just like level, if it's an established, agreed upon meaning of a word, it gets in the dictionary. It's not going to be arbitrarily placed in there if it wasn't established.
Propositions have...
Oh, okay. So the adjective of level is...
true values, which means that they are true or false, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitions are established. They are not proven.
Yes,
so they cannot be true or false.
Yes, they can.
No, because they are not propositions.
Okay, let's put a definition for level. Is the definition for level true or false that it's based on horizontal?
Neither of them, because they are not propositions.
Yes, it is. Do we use level? Do we use level in everyday life?
Yes, but we use only formal definitions, not the formal one.
And the level that we use, is it always based on horizontal?
Not really. Depends on the definition that the person is using. But if there's no previous definition given, it is going to be
changing definitions.
Not necessarily. See, I can turn the
Every time you build something using level,
then I can turn the level up. So what level are you talking about?
it's based on horizontal. There's no two ways about it. Even your globe's level is based on horizontal.
A level
I was turning the wrong thing down.
is not measuring horizontality per se. It is measuring a vector of acceleration. Because when you tilt it,
it's not. It's measuring level. Let me tell you something. I was a carpenter.
No, it measured. I was a carpenter.
I built houses. I built buildings. I built
Right.
garages. Level
Yeah, pretty much every kid that was in high school did that.
is level. Level is no point higher or lower than another. Okay. You cannot have level on a convex surface. You only have a.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. The fuck are you talking about? If that convex surface matches the convexity of the Earth, you fucking most certainly can.
Tangent point. You requires 2 points to make a line.
okay, no points higher on another or lower than what? In reference to what?
Another point.
But you have to make a reference to something in order to talk about altitude
Right.
or
So
height.
you've got point A,
Horizontal, and that's where
point
horizontal
B,
comes in.
Not really.
point
No,
A
no,
and point
really,
B.
you do not need it.
Yes, you do.
If point A
You can
and
have
point
height
B
above it.
If point A and point B are equal in height to one another, they are level. Okay. If one is lower, then it's not level. It's sloped. Okay.
But it's always
Totally right. Totally right.
Arcs are not lines. Listen to me. Arcs are not lines. Lines require 2 points. Level requires 2 points at least. That no point is higher than another.
But how do they know? How do each of those points know?
You don't have that on the convex surface. It's impossible.
But do you understand that level is always based on the horizontal?
Yes, on a convex surface like the Earth, it's the same distance from the center of the Earth.
Level is always based off of a horizontal datum.
It depends on the definition, because if you're referring to level as something horizontal, it is always going to be in reference to something horizontal.
Give me the definition that contradicts level. Show me where level contradicts level. Level is level. It's a straight line. There is no exception.
No,
unless you include something in the definition.
The adjective of level is parallel to the curvature of the Earth's surface or the Earth's waters.
That contradicts itself, that won't happen because, as I already said, definitions are not propositions. But my point was that you can measure height with respect to any surface that you want.
Yes.
It could be literally a cone.
You just made my point though when you said definitions are not actual, because you're fighting for. No, you're fighting for your proposition, which is just you hand wave dismissing that definition has meaning, which is actual.
Saying double speak.
No, when did I say that definitions do not have meaning?
You said it's a proposition. That's your argument.
No, that they are not propositions, not that they don't have meanings. You can
They are
establish
only
whatever meaning you want.
propositions. Now you're contradicting yourself again.
No, when did I say that they are propositions? I said strictly that they are not. The opposite.
No, when you came in, you said they're only propositions.
No, they are not propositions, because if they are
Why
propositions,
are you
well, this would entail a contradiction, obviously.
You fucking gaslighting bitch.
Because if they were propositions, they would.
I mean, this is gaslighting. He's telling him that he said the exact opposite thing that he said.
Have true or false states. You don't have true or false.
And they're all helping.
It doesn't make any sense because they are established by human beings.
It's always true. Level is based on horizontal datums. That's true. The fact we can test it out is based on construction, everyday life, measurements of level. It's always based on a reference datum of horizontal. That's why when.
So it's funny how they trust some measurements but not others, right? They trust this little local measurement of 100 foot by 200 foot, but they don't trust a bigger measurement that would give you a result of curvature, right? They don't trust those, right? They trust the pictures that just show the horizon. You know, they trust those pictures, but they don't trust pictures taken from the ISS or Himawari 8 or anything else like that.
When you take a spirit level and you try and hang a let's say a wooden cupboard or something, you're basing it on level. That level is based on the horizontal reference of the ground.
Okay, but it still depends on the definition that you choose for level. But if you want, let's say that you want to talk about.
No, that level is based on plumb. Is based on the pull of gravity downward, forcing that bubble to be centered. So bubble levels are not they don't require horizontal. They require plumb. They require the force of gravity to work.
What are you using?
Yes, always based on down.
What definition are you using?
The same that you're using. No
Then
points
it's
higher than
convexity. Then you're on the same page as
no,
we are. What is the argument?
Because you're assuming that you can only measure height with respect to a line or horizontal surface.
You know what altitude is, or elevation?
Wow.
Yes, I have actually defined it, but I don't have the file that was in response to.
So do they think that you can't measure a height from here, and then a height from here, and then a height from here? Is that what they're saying?
Brian's logic.
You can't measure the height from here to here, or from here to here, or from there to there. You can't do that. Is that what they're saying?
But altitude and elevation are basically synonyms, but the only difference that there is between both is the use, because we usually refer to elevation when we're talking about terrain and altitude when we're talking about planes. That's the only difference that there is. But it is
But the point is they're based on a reference data.
Yes, which could be anything you want. It could be literally a surface that is completely curved and it's whatever, and you can still measure height off of it because the height.
How can you be perpendicular to an arc?
You don't require perpendicular.
How can you be perpendicular to an arc? Wow. Holy fucking shit. Man, that's pretty sad. I mean, seriously. I mean, good God, man. How can you be perpendicular to an arc? By not being closer to one side of the arc than you are to the other side of the arc at one point on the line. Bisecting the arc equally. Intersecting the center of that arc like that. What the fuck, man?
Perpendicularity to establish height.
Yes, you do. Level is perpendicular to vertical. Okay.
No,
and how do you have perpendicular to an arc?
Let's respond. Let's respond to that with.
Well, you could have perpendicular to the tangent of that arc, which would make that line perpendicular to the arc. So, you're not smart enough to know that?
Another question. Let's say that I have a point outside of a.
I mean, seriously, dude. Seriously. I mean, if you take an arc, right? Show the axes. So you've got a circle, you've got an arc, and then you take a you say, okay, right here, I'm going to ascribe an arc, or I'm sorry, and say, okay, what about at this point, right, or do this point, right? So you do a thing there, and you take the same amount, the same length, you put an arc there, right? When you have your compass, you keep it spaced the same. So you make an intersect there and an intersect there, and then you take your compass and you place it on there, or I'm sorry, you take it, put it there, and you, God, I can't fucking. Anyway, anybody who's been through grade school geometry knows how to make a perpendicular line to another line, and it works the same way with a curve. Just do it with a circle. So you draw a circular line there, then you go to this point, you draw the same size circle, right? And then you take your line and you connect it. Now, I just estimated that. And that line is perpendicular to that fucking curve. You can't see that, can you? God damn it. So you draw your arcs here and here from this center point. then you take a compass and you make it wider than this point to this point. So you want to overshoot it. And then you place it here on the center. And you draw an arc. And then you draw the same arc on the other side. And where this point and this point intersect with a line, that's perpendicular to this curve. Now, like I said, I estimated, I didn't set a dimension on each one of these circles that I drew, so it's off. But that's the procedure for getting a perpendicular line to a fucking arc, dipshit.
Circumference, and I wanted to find the least distance to that point to that circumference. What should I do?
No, you're not going to place a question onto us. You are claiming there's no horizontal data.
Oh, you're not going to place a question onto us. We can't answer that question, so you can't do that. What a fucking bitch.
For a altitude or elevation.
Yes, and you don't require that.
And first you're going to need a rating.
Let's say a plane flies 35,000 feet. What's that referenced to?
That's air pressure. They reference that to air pressure because we know that our atmosphere gets thinner and thinner at a specific rate the higher you go. And using math, using physics and mechanics, we can measure how high we are off the ground based on how thin the atmosphere is.
I don't know. You haven't told me. It could perfectly be the case that you're talking about a fictional world in which you measure elevation of cone.
Is 35,000 feet a unit?
Yes, it is a unit, obviously.
From where to where?
From a point to a point.
Basically from the center of the Earth minus 4,000 miles or 3,998 miles. That's why. That's how. It's taken from sea level, mean sea level.
So the datum is the ground, which is horizontal, to the plane flying at 35,000 feet. Yes, necessary always, because it's...
No, the ground is not necessary for the height of the airplane. It's measured with barometric pressure, and it's taken from mean sea level. So even if you're flying over a mountain, you're still 35,000 feet above sea level. Fucking idiot.
It's based
well,
on
then you're assuming the case that the Earth is flat instead of
Hey, George.
Because you're assuming that the ground is horizontal.
Hey, George.
Your globe assumes that too.
No, we don't. We don't assume that the Earth is flat. You stupid fuck.
Altitude and elevation is based.
You lying shithead.
Altitude and elevation is always based from a horizontal 0-degree reference plane. Always.
This is something that
even your globe.
Even on mountains. Why you have 7,000-foot mountains? I mean, my God.
Yes, in reference to a surface. In reference to a surface that we haven't established. But it would be good to address this because...
What part of the surface, Greed? What part of the surface are you referencing it from?
You take a line that goes through that point and another point in such a way that the segment is the least amount of length possible. That's height.
So if I go, say, 2,500 miles away from the mountain and I measure the height, now it's going to measure nothing?
No, you have to determine
what
the
are you
surface.
talking about? You can't have the radius as a reference point as an atom point. How do you?
We are not.
Listen, height is the plumb. Okay, plumb is perpendicular to the horizon. Okay, horizontal. Okay, how do you have perpendicular to an arc?
First of all,
perpendicular to what point?
I just showed how.
You only have a tangent now. A line.
We got to answer the question first, Greed.
Is a tangent. Okay.
Can I talk now? First of all, plumb is perpendicular to horizontal, but
okay.
to a horizontal in respect to a certain coordinate system. Because if I take a rotated coordinate system, that horizontal won't be horizontal with respect to that. Because you can rotate coordinate systems. That's something basic.
Sorry. Can you show us a different horizontal that's not perpendicular to plumb, please?
Yes, I can take another coordinate system. Let's call it x prime, y prime,
I don't
which
care
is
about the coordinate system. I'm saying observed. You can take a plumb line and you have a horizontal perpendicular to it. Point A, point B, point F, doesn't matter where you go. Will it always show a horizontal perpendicular to that vertical?
You won't see a horizontal because that's a line, and a line is a set of points that you don't see.
You don't see a horizontal? Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
You're standing on the ground, are you not?
Yes, I am.
And you've got a plumb bob in front of you.
Let's say that I do, but I don't right now.
That means it's perpendicular. You're standing on the horizontal.
No, because the horizontal that we are taking is in reference to a certain coordinate system that...
No, you don't get an automatic horizontal with a plumb bob, you fucking idiot.
Has
hold on. What is this this certain coordinate system that you're talking about? Is this something that you just dreamed up? Because what I understand is we have X, Y, and Z. Okay?
Yes.
X, Y, and Z. X goes horizontal. Y goes vertical. Z is any direction away from you. Okay? So now,
No, you got that wrong.
at what point do any of those
X is left to right, Y is away from you and toward you, and Z is up and down.
axes become arcs?
First of all, I never said that any of those were arcs. I was talking about rotating a coordinate system. Rotating, which does not imply taking those lines as arcs.
Okay.
If you take a rotated coordinate system...
But even your coordinate systems, are you talking about latitude and longitude?
No, we're talking about standard Euclidean space.
Right, so it's based on a horizontal plane then?
Not really, it's based on
plane
vectors.
Geometry. Yeah, you just
no, it's based on
plane
vectors.
Geometry.
No, but that's not what it is. It's based
yes,
on
that's exactly
vectors.
what it is. Your coordinate system is X and Y coordinates over a plane. It's a horizontal. You literally just debunked yourself.
Do you know how to describe a Euclidean space in the first place? How do you build it in the first place? What do you need to build it?
How do you build space?
An Euclidean space.
Euclidean space.
Yeah, it's planar geometry. You literally got X and Y coordinate grid system over a plane. That's how Euclidean geometry works, man. Do you not know this?
You use vectors to build it, which have not necessarily
X and
something
Y
to do
over
with
a
these.
plane. It's literally a horizontal plane, and they're building their vectors over that plane. It's planar geometry. Euclidean is planar geometry. You know this.
We're talking about free space vectors, which do not require a coordinate system in the first place. They
You
don't require. You can have free space vectors without any coordinate system.
Free space vectors require two planes of reference intersecting. So it's a vertical and a horizontal plane intersecting. It's flat planes intersecting.
First of all, do you know what a free space vector is?
Z.
What is? Can you describe it in the first place?
I just did. Does this guy
No,
know
you
the
didn't,
difference?
because the definition that you give is not the definition of the vector.
Okay, you know what? I've got an idea. Bring up a citation that shows free vector Euclidean quickly, and I'll show you its plane geometry.
No, I can literally build it right now. Let's take three vectors.
I said citation, please. Because the whole night, all you've been doing is contradicting yourself, double speaking, doubling down on your double speaking, saying definitions don't mean anything, want to throw definitions at us, tell us things that don't actually exist in reality, throw away Euclidean geometry.
You gaslighting bitch. That's not at all what he's done. You just haven't understood anything he's fucking talked about.
And saying it's not planar, where literally that's what Euclidean geometry is based upon, is planar geometry, and you want to tell us we're wrong. Now I'm asking you for citation for your bullshit, please, because this is getting irritating.
It's part of being.
First of all, I counted 7 unfounded claims right there. You didn't provide any proof.
This is not live, mate. This is live. Everybody can hear your bullshit. So I'm going to.
Yeah, everybody can hear what's going on, and you just gaslighted him.
I want you to back up your claim now. Show a citation that Euclidean geometry is not planar, please.
If we want to define it, let's take Euclidean axioms, for example. We don't require citations. Why? Because mathematics is not built.
I don't care about the
experiments
axioms.
or anything like
Did
that.
I not ask you for a citation?
Yes, but you don't require it to prove anything.
Guys, sorry. Did I ask him for a citation, or did I ask him to give me excuses?
Yes,
why
you
I'm
did.
giving a citation?
You absolutely did. You absolutely did. You absolutely did. But I am saying that
Can I
you
get a
don't
citation,
require
please?
when we're talking about vectors.
Yes,
You
it
don't
does.
require it.
You made a
Because we're talking
claim.
about-
You made a claim that goes specifically against Euclidean geometry. So I want you to bring citation up for that claim, please.
No, it doesn't go against Euclidean geometry. What part of it does go against Euclidean geometry?
You're claiming it's not planar.
Why would it be planar? What's your
Because that's what Euclidean geometry is. It's planar geometry.
No, but you're not giving any reasoning. You had that point. You're just blatantly assuming
My
that.
reason is even Euclidean geometry, which your globe is based upon, by the way, is based on planar geometry.
No, it's not based on planar geometry, you dumb motherfucker. We measured the Earth using spherical geometry, or spherical trigonometry. So, fuck off, liar.
Which means it's based on a horizontal datum, which you claim doesn't exist, which means your level is based on this horizontal datum, which you claim doesn't exist. Everything you spoke about comes from, quote unquote, flat horizontals and verticals.
You realize that you beg the question. I asked you why.
How do you beg the
think
question?
that, and you didn't give any
What
reasoning.
Euclidean geometry is.
Yes, but you're not giving any reasoning behind that because Euclidean geometry is not just assumed to be something. It is built upon Euclid's axioms. So why would Euclidean space be based on planar geometry? Why?
What does that say right there?
Google
A
definition,
flat
that's-
surface, listen. From the word planar comes from the word plane. We all know this, right? And what is a plane? A plane is a flat surface on which a straight line joining any 2 points on it would wholly lie. The horizontal plane. Look at that. A level of existence, thought, or development. So that doesn't apply to what we're talking about. But
Yes,
you
it
notice where it says a flat surface on which a straight line. You see those parts right there? That's like
Yes,
totally
the
against
total red herring. Yes.
everything that you're postulating is contrary to that definition of plane or planar, isn't it?
What did I say specifically with specificity that is contrary to what I
You
said?
read this? Look at this. Euclid's own definition puts it this way. Parallel straight lines are straight lines which, being in the same place and being produced indefinitely in both directions, do not meet the other end. either direction in the same
That's
way.
axiom, by the way.
In other words, they don't come around and touch each other because they're on a big ball.
You're asking
No
why
one is saying that.
planar
No one
surveying.
is saying that.
You're asking why this goes against what
And
you
this
said.
is even saying to the teacher here, since you're teaching us.
You
This
said
is a
begging.
topic in synthetic plane geometry. Okay.
Read the things before that. The course is not a course on the elements, but a wide-ranging and interesting introduction to a selection of topics in synthetic plane geometry. A selection of topics is not really only about plane geometry. The same citation is even saying that. And if you were to be defining parallel lines as those lines that lie on the same plane and don't touch each other, that definition wouldn't be wrong, but not all lines which are horizontal with respect to a certain coordinate system are parallel with each other. Because if you rotate the coordinate system, a horizontal line becomes sloped and stops being a horizontal line. That's something really
What do you
important.
keep talking about rotating? We're not talking about rotating. We're talking about
Okay, I'm going to quickly point out something very important. Okay, you see there, Euclidean geometry is also known as plane geometry. Do you know why
What citation is that?
Do you know why it's considered as plane geometry? It says it in the statement there. Do you know why? Because it works at points, lines, angles, squares, and triangles. What do all those shapes have in common?
Angles are not shapes, but they do have in common segments, which are not lines.
Based on planes. They all have
No.
planes.
The opposite, you require lines in order to establish planes in the first place.
Okay, show me a triangle without a plane, please.
Flat
A triangle completely alone. You don't require a plane below it to have a triangle. You can draw it.
Because you have to do it on a
Okay, this guy's dishonest, guys. This guy's very
this
dishonest.
is why scientists get a bad rap, because they all believe different crap about everything. They're all confused.
But I'm literally explaining each of my thoughts.
So you think a line is a plane? Well, you think a flat sheet of paper is a fucking gas container. So.
And I'm responding
We're
to
literally
each point that you
bringing
make.
everything up to show you you're wrong and explain to you why you're wrong, and all you're doing is
You didn't. Your only citation was a random site that
I'm
you
going
found
to give you
on
one
Google.
more. I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to give you one more chance. Bring a citation up for your point, or are we going to move on and go to someone that's actually honest, like Scribe? Thank you. Because
So how did you find that thing, that last thing you presented, or even anything you presented? Is that using Google? The thing that Sovereign Soul fucking hates? How does Sovereign Soul get that meme that he posted? Maybe Google? Makes you wonder.
because I am not seeing you as
Hey, Steve. Hey, George.
honest as all. Because literally we're showing you that you're wrong, and you're still just saying nah.
Yeah.
No, you're not showing him he's wrong, you fucking liar.
Citation.
Do you want something coming from a university, for example? Would it be
Citation.
good?
It doesn't matter. Just give us a citation. We're just
Would it
asking.
be good?
What?
The main problem with this.
We're giving you the option. Pick one.
Yes, and I'm going to do it. But the problem is that I'm going to need to translate it because it's not in Spanish. But you can perfectly translate it by yourself if you don't believe me, okay? Well, let's see where it is. Algebra. Here. And it's on the topic of vectors.
Also too bad now because the other Glober left.
Oh, man.
Did Sky leave?
Yeah.
Well, Sky, really appreciated you coming in. You're really awesome, and you're really honest. We love that about you. Always welcome to come back.
Nice.
No, she's back. She's back. She just.
We got a full room.
She has
By the way, I took the day off.
screen?
I wasn't feeling like it.
Well, let's go through each of the construction of 2 points. Can you see it?
Yes, vectors are plane. You are plane. So that's plane.
Plane
A
or
and B. Well done.
space. Plane or space. Plane or space. Plane or space.
You literally got on screen making a point.
Nobody does it better than NASA. Yeah, there you go.
It says,
If you redefine something, then yeah, you can change it a little bit.
what is being
Listen to the shit show. Everyone wants to talk at once. Give their little fucking verbal memes.
said here?
Wow.
What does it read?
Plane in the
Please.
space. Yeah, that's it.
Plane
The
or
same plane in the space. Right.
plane or space. So you can build it on a space in absence of planes.
Do you understand? Space is just
Oh, God.
X, Y, Z coordinates, dude.
Yeah.
It's
which are not planes.
in space. You realize that, right? If
And
You do know
has-
those
no.
coordinates. Wait. You do know those X, Y, and Z coordinates of space is literally flat planes intersecting everywhere.
No, those are lines intersecting with
Planes.
each other.
They are
Those are not
planes.
planes.
They're straight, dude. They're
The
flat.
axes are lines. They are not planes.
They must
What
be
are you
parallel straight lines.
Let's
Yes,
use
there you go.
GeoGebra, for example. If
Okay,
we go
I
here
wanna
and we
say-
go to 3D, we have 3 axes. We
Oh
don't
my
have
God.
Oh my God, they think that a line is a plane.
planes. The plane here would be the XY plane, but it is not what we use as reference.
Look at those straight lines.
Wow, straight lines. This is amazing. Look at that. Look at that.
Those are
Yes, not
planes.
planes. Not planes.
Those are planes. What are they?
No,
Tell
those are
us.
not planes. If you want to make a
No.
plane, you can establish it, but you
No, those are lines. They're two-dimensional. Length and or Jesus fucking Christ. It's right there on the goddamn screen. They're lines, dipshit.
don't require it in order to talk
Those
about
are
coordinates in the first
planes.
place.
Oh my
You
god.
understand what you're showing on screen is how aeroplanes work to know where they are in 3D space?
Three axes. Those are not planes.
You need.
Why
I was
do
gonna say you
think
need
that
an
axes
axis.
are planes?
X, Y, and Z are planes. They are planes intersecting each other. Why aren't you
No,
understanding
those
this exactly what
lines.
you've got on screen? Oh my word.
Those are lines. Why do you think it is a plane?
Lines
Those are
are
It's a
flat.
plane. A line is a plane.
You're changing orientation, dude.
A
That's
line
all
is
you're
a
doing.
line.
See that gray
Right.
block?
All right, let's move back to the other garage.
No, I don't think you should go debate the other guys.
Yeah, go find you somebody with a real argument, dude.
Before we do, you see that gray
Oh
block?
my god. Oh my god. They think that that blue line is a plane.
Yes, I have talked
That
about
is a
it. As a matter of
plane.
fact.
Right. That's the zero mark of up and down, dude. That he can take that away. He can take that gray part away, you dumb motherfucker.
Based on the what?
The two lines that are being used as
Christ.
reference, which are not
They
planes, are
intersect.
axes. And you said that they are planes, which are not. They are lines,
Every
literally. You can see.
wait. Do you know what that -1 is?
Yeah, it's a unit.
That's another plane. Do you know what the
No,
plus
those
one
are not planes. Those are
is?
references.
That's another.
No, you dumbass. He doesn't fucking understand. Jesus Christ. He thinks a line is a plane. He actually fucking does. I mean, how goddamn ignorant can you be?
The plane.
Oh, you're
You
hilarious.
take a line and you use
Reference
segments
planes,
to talk
dude.
about-
Every
You're not
dot,
using planes.
every dot. Listen, every dot that's on there is a reference plane.
No, it
It's an
isn't. It's a
intersection-
point.
It's an
A point
They
intersection
intersect, dude.
to another
You require 3
plane.
points to make a plane. It is not a plane. A
Oh
line
my
is not a plane. A
God.
point is not a plane. And a figure isn't a plane. You can use a
Holy
plane to talk about them,
shit.
but you don't require them. You only require axes, which are not planes.
Can I ask you a question right quick, dude? Where in the world does that define a sphere? Period. Where do you derive any of that? You gonna go with a tangent? Yeah,
Very
you're
easy,
gonna tangent
very
the
easy.
point where it meets the sphere. So you measure everything
easy.
flat, and then you attach it to a dingleberry globe
Very
Earth.
hard.
It doesn't
Very hard.
exist. It's below surface
hard.
level.
Very
Point.
hard. There's the sphere.
Oh my god, these people are ignorant.
Where?
Holy
There
shit.
is no sphere, dude.
Was
It's in your head.
How do you get, hold on, wait a second. Let me just ask this. I want you to tell me how in the hell you can get an arc or a sphere out of a straight line.
Really easy. Really easy.
Real easy. I want you to show it. I want you to show it. Show
Really
that
easy, really
turning
easy.
into a curve. Show that
Do you
turning
know?
into a fucking arc.
Do you know about trigonometry?
Yes.
Oh, we know
Show it
trigonometry.
turning into an arc.
Trigonometry
Sine and
uses
cosines?
straight lines to measure arcs, so don't give me that crap.
No,
There's
you have
no
something
arcs
very
in
important, a
geometry
very
to measure.
important identity inside of trigonometry, which is that sine of x squared plus cosine of x squared is equal to 1. And why is that? Why is that? Because the hypotenuse of a random triangle, which is 1 in this
They're
case,
straight
is
points, dude.
Looking at the
Can you let me
sky,
talk?
and then we can
Can you let me
determine
talk?
the ground is curving. My
He
God.
doesn't understand what he's.
Yeah, they won't let him fucking talk. Because they're fucking cowards.
Can I talk for once? Can I talk for once?
Go ahead.
A straight line.
Let him talk.
Wait, stop. Wait.
Let us see
So
him
I'm saying, when you take the sine of x squared, which is one side of a triangle, which has a hypotenuse of 1, because as you probably know, if you take one of the sides, the adjacent side, for example, you have a trigonometric identity for it in particular, right?
Yeah, take it
Well,
over.
when the hypotenuse is 1, you just have the sine, is it? Yes, the sine. And when the hypotenuse is 1, for the opposite side, you only have the cosine, okay?
Yeah, that's why it's
when you
but you
take
understand what I got on
the-
screen now?
Well, we are both sharing screen, so
Mine is showing
what is
to
that?
everybody.
Rectangular coordinate systems, yeah. But about
Can you see the planes? I've got it as clear as I could in 3D blocks for you.
no, you're totally right. You can take planes and intersect them, but those are not.
Yeah, you can do that. You can put the planes in there, but they aren't automatically there, dumb fuck.
The
They
things that
are
you use to
planes
take coordinates.
intersecting.
No, the lines are not planes. Lines are planes. Do you think that?
Can
Yes,
you
they
get to the part?
No, they are not. They are different. Well, can I
You
keep
get to
going
the
with my
part
point?
where you
Euclidean
turn-
geometry, lines are planes because they fall on the coordinate.
No, they're not. No, they're fucking not.
Of a plane.
No, because something is contained inside of a plane does not make it a plane. If you're inside a house, you're not the house.
What else is nice about a line?
As soon as you evoke, as soon as you're evoking 3D
Existential much?
space, wait. As soon as you're evoking 3D space, it becomes a plane. Do you understand that?
3D space becomes a plane. A three-dimensional space becomes a plane. Three
Yes.
dimensions, as opposed to 2 dimensions of a plane, are the same.
Oh
You
my
referenced the
Jesus.
point. You created a plane
I'll be right back.
in space.
You
Okay.
can have
You can
objects
wait,
in
but
it.
that's not the thing that you use as
I want
reference.
to
You use lines as reference.
Fucking Jesus
Get to the point
Christ.
where you turn your XYZ into a ball.
I was going to,
All
but
right,
you interrupted me.
I want to see a straight line become a ball.
Well, you have sine of x squared, which is in the case of a triangle with hypotenuse 1, Yes.
Demonstrate
The,
it.
You've already debunked your globe. It's based on the flat
no, I
plane. Well
didn't.
done.
No, I didn't. If you
You
want
brought
to
up
make
triangle sign of one.
distinctions, you can.
What's the
whatever
adjacent?
you
Is the adjacent? Sorry, is the adjacent a horizontal plane?
It's a segment, not a plane.
Horizontal plane. Well done. He's debunked
No,
his
it
globe,
isn't.
guys.
It is a segment. It is not a plane. Why do you want
The
to?
segment is a
So
plane.
you live on a segment, dude.
No, I don't say I live on a segment. You don't even know what I'm referring to. I was saying that the sine square in the case of a triangle of hypotenuse 1 plus the cosine square would be equal to the hypotenuse. And when we have the circle, the trigonometric circle, the unit circle, which has a radius of 1, all the triangles that you can make, which have a hypotenuse of 1 and as sides sine of x and cosine of x, and x is a random angle that you're taking.
I think
Holy shit, these people are fucking amazing. I mean, this guy obviously knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's probably has a PhD in some sort of field of math. And these guys are just talking horse shit. So you just debunked yourself. Oh my God. Yeah, lines are planes. Fuck me.
I figured out what your issue is. Are you claiming that your sphere is one-dimensional?
No, it's two-dimensional because sphere.
Yes, the sphere is three-dimensional. The surface of the sphere is one-dimensional or two-dimensional.
So therefore the segment is a plane.
No, it isn't. A segment is not a plane. It's a one-dimensional.
A sphere is a three-dimensional object.
Wait, let me put it this way.
No, it isn't.
So then your segment
Three-dimensional.
is denoted as a plane.
No, he's actually wrong about that. A sphere is a three-dimensional object. The surface of the sphere is only has two dimensions because you can't go higher or lower than the surface of that sphere.
And because a segment as one dimension is only a point or a line. If you're claiming
No, a
it
point
to
is
be
zero.
more than one, if you're claiming it to be 2 or 3 dimensions, it's a plane because then it has x and y, z on that plane, on that segment. If it's one dimension, it only is a point or a line. So are you claiming
don't have
your
X, Y,
sphere
Z
is
on a segment,
one-dimensional?
no.
Sorry, are you claiming your globe is one-dimensional, or are you claiming it is higher dimensions?
Two-dimensional.
Then it's a plane. Thank you very much.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. What are you? What is your
Segments
argument
are
for that?
only
You-
one-dimensional.
you said
A sphere is a
three things that
three-dimensional
were
object,
incorrect.
dude.
You said three things that were incorrect. X,
No.
Y, and Z on a
Segments
segment,
as a
which is completely
segments-
incorrect, and also something about planes that was also incorrect, but I didn't hear it because
Segments-
We're not doing
it makes
segments.
no sense.
Segments as a line or a point is only one-dimensional. As soon as
No,
you
it
evoke
isn't.
two
It isn't a
dimensions or 3
line.
dimensions, that segment is known as a plane because it takes up more coordinates. It's 3D space.
A segment is a plane. That's what you're saying, really?
You only when you can evoke segment as a point or a line is one
It
dimension.
isn't a point nor a line. None of those.
Jesus Christ, he's fucking stupid.
None of
So,
those.
so
It isn't
here's
either
my
a point nor a
question
line.
for you, dude. I've got a question
Go
for you. Is a sphere a three-dimensional object or is it a two-dimensional object? You tell me right now. I want to know.
Two-dimensional, really easy. Two-dimensional.
Okay,
really easy.
explain how.
Very complete.
Wait, hold on.
Really easy.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to leave soon, so I want to ask my last questions right now.
Okay.
Yeah, do that first.
Wow.
So I know you've probably been harassed about this a lot, but what do you think about the final experiment?
Well, to be fair, we've been very vocal on this, saying it's not going to change anything on the flat Earth. Because if you understand, we're not making a claim on what should be happening. The thing with Will Duffy, what he does is he takes a straw man and he says, well, you see, if the sun's going to be seen, therefore on this straw man, I created a false dichotomy.
No, you claim what can't happen, and the final experiment is to show that it does happen.
Therefore, it can't be flat. But you have to understand, the only ones making the claim here are the globies, and you guys can only have it working one way. You either require a 24-hour sun in the sky to work. If it doesn't, it debunks your globe. If it does, it can only be evidence for your globe. But if the sun shows or doesn't show for a flat Earth, it doesn't debunk it or prove it either way. So it's
then-
really just a waste of time. And
Yeah, it does. Yeah, if the sun circles over your head, that's impossible on a flat Earth.
money.
So then on a flat Earth, how would you explain the 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
I don't need to. I'm not making a claim of it. No one claimed what the sun is, where it is, or whatever. But there's
Oh.
many demonstrations out there that can explain it. Heck, we can have more than one sun on a flat Earth if we wanted to.
Oh, I see now. Well, I guess the final experiment was more targeted towards flat earthers like Eric Dubé, who are claiming stuff about there's no.
Yeah, he
24-hour sun.
pushes like specific sun correlation on an AE map kind of thing.
This guy actually
Yeah.
says that we can triangulate the sun with the corpuscular rays and that it's 30,000 meters off the ground. He's a retard.
So that's the latest cop out and lie.
But
And
yeah,
I-
when it comes to the sun, though, I mean, there's so many different things that can be said. That's why I say it's not really going to prove anything. I'm actually working on a documentary at the moment.
It won't prove anything, but it did before the final experiment came out. So fucking sad.
And a part of it is Will Duffy, and I'm showing that this final experiment kind of looks to me like it's very personal to him. You know what I mean?
And I don't trust the guy. I've met him. I've been proactive with him, and he seems a little shaky. Yeah. I went to his church and sat down and talked to him
He started this whole thing off on deception, and that's the first red flag guy gets. So.
Yep. And he wasn't like gung ho, like dragging me into it. He pushed me away from him.
So I guess, in conclusion, I should say, I came into this stream thinking that how relative density disequilibrium works is that the medium and what's supporting the object are exerting forces on the object until they're in balance. But now I understand that it's more about displacement, which is a sort of pseudo force. And I came into this live stream with a completely wrong impression of what you believe. And even though it's not very, it's not very not very good for me to just come in and completely misunderstand what you guys believe. I'm still glad I came here and got to learn what you actually do believe. So thank you.
Well, if you ever want to talk again, just let me know. You're more than welcome to come in. I know sometimes it does take time to understand, really. You know what I mean? Repetition helps sometimes.
Yeah, I still don't fully understand, but I don't really think that's your problem. It's just I've never really thought of displacement as a pseudo force before. I have to get
it's a different way of thinking.
I want to say you're the most honest guest, and I would be happy if you came back on. Like,
you're awesome.
Chat with you.
So far, you're absorbing it. Yeah.
It felt like when I first heard that. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of
displacement is not a force.
It sounds exactly. That's why I like it, because it sounds like the discussions I have.
It sounds like she has less ego than most of us. Is probably what it is. She doesn't have the ego, so she comes across as she's honest. You know, if you see something that makes sense, and she's like, okay, I see what you mean. Whereas most people that claim they're Globers don't do that. They'll just deny everything, like that other guy that you heard talking.
I mean, to be fully honest, I don't understand most of what you said. I will have to think about it a bit. Maybe come back if I want to ask more questions, or maybe not. Who knows?
Don't be afraid.
Play around in the bathtub, you'll understand it. I do have a question though for what's that other guy that was?
Can we go on about your argument about circles?
Okay, so I'm going to leave now. Bye.
Bye.
Holy shit!
Thank you for coming.
That's
awesome. See now that's
amazing. He was amazing. Like muted or something?
Okay. I'm gonna quickly show.
No, you're on.
Every time I start to say something, everybody jump in.
Go ahead.
See, there's a segment in between. I guess that's difficult to see. This is practically what Euclidean is. Okay, there's a segment, but you can see it's plane. There's planes in 3D space. One dimensional will only be a line or a point. In 2D or 3D space, it's a plane because it has coordinates over that segment plane.
First of all, a point is not one-dimensional. It's zero-dimensional. It doesn't have dimensions.
God.
A point is one-dimensional.
Oh my God. No, a point on a plane is a point on a plane. It's not the plane, you dumb fuck.
What is a dimension?
A point
What
on
is
his
a dimension? What is a dimension?
A point on his length.
Can you respond my question, please?
A point only has length. That is me responding to you.
Not the response. I am asking for a definition for dimension.
No, a point doesn't have any length. Zero length.
Because you're saying that it is one-dimensional.
Length.
Length.
No, it
is
doesn't
one
have
dimension.
It doesn't have length, breadth, nor width.
Width
It
and
doesn't have
width is
anything.
3 dimensions.
It doesn't have any of those three a point. A point doesn't have length. A point doesn't
It's
have
one
width.
dimension. That's what I said. As soon as you evoke 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions, it's no longer a point.
Let's use the actual definition of dimension, which is the amount of coordinates that you.
What happened?
Well, the actual definition for the theorems to be valid, because for certain theorems, if you choose whatever definition you want, it will work. But that does not mean
you
that
guys
they are
quit talking
propositions.
over me. Let him finish his fucking sentence before y'all jump in on him. Y'all jump in the middle of everybody's sentences, man.
Just say a word. Go ahead, finish.
Okay. So, and I also want to explain Sob's point because it's really important later, and he asked it kindly. A dimension is a coordinate that you need to locate something inside of a shape, whichever shape you want. Inside of a line, you only require one dimension, which is forward or backwards, only one dimension. Inside of any surface, like a sphere, a plane, a hyperboloid, whatever you want, you only require 2 dimensions to locate a point inside of it. But what happens when we are talking about a point? A point is a point. You can locate points inside of it. So it doesn't have dimension. That's why it's considered to be 0-dimensional. A line is considered to be 1-dimensional because you only need forwards and backwards to determine any point inside of it. A sphere is considered to be 3-dimensional, for example, as let's say a ball, which is not a sphere. Those are 2 different things. A ball is
Hold on.
No, dude, you're wrong on too many points already.
A ball and a sphere are not the same thing.
Not the same thing. If anyone told you that, they are defining it very weird.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
how
is a ball and a sphere? And also, if a sphere, which we deem it as a 3-dimensional object, can you tell me the 3 dimensions that are incorporated in a sphere?
Well, it requires 3 dimensions to be represented, but that's not the
I understand that. What are the 3 dimensions of a sphere?
No, it doesn't have 3 dimensions. It's 2-dimensional.
It only has 1 dimension, and that's.
No, it has 2 dimensions, but you know it has 2 dimensions because.
Say what? A sphere only has 1 dimension. Fuck me.
The surface.
What is no? The surface is derived as a calculation based on the diameter. Okay.
Not derived
So
as a calculation because it's geometry.
the only dimension the sphere has is a diameter.
No,
Everything else,
that's
the redundancy
just
of the
times the
diameter.
radius of the surface, which is
Doesn't
not a part
matter.
of the sphere.
We can make
It's
it
not a part of the
all
sphere. The
dimension.
radius is not a part of the sphere.
Radius is just a derivative of the diameter. It's
Jesus fucking Christ.
the same fucking
Holy
dimension.
The
shit.
derivative, the derivative
Are
of
you
constant
kidding
is
You
not
me?
derive what is the height of a sphere? Okay, I got a five
Height
inch
of
diameter
what?
here. Hold on, we're gonna walk right through this. I have a
Okay,
5
go
inch
ahead.
diameter sphere. What is the height of it?
the height of a sphere over what?
What is the height of the sphere? You have to have
Over
height,
what?
width, and length, right? Height,
Yes,
width,
but
and
over
length.
what?
Over itself. What the
No,
fuck?
you cannot measure
All right,
something
so
in
I just
reference
told
to
you it's
itself.
5 inches in diameter. What height
Yeah.
is it? What width is it? And what depth is it?
It doesn't have any depth because
It's
it is
all
just
5
a
inches.
surface.
It's all 5 inches. So therefore, it's
No.
only one fucking dimension. You
Each
get what I'm
point,
saying?
each point,
The only point
the
the sphere
surface.
has is the center. That's the
Can I
only
talk?
point that
Can
the
I talk?
sphere has is a center, unless you create a reference point. That's the
Can I
only
talk?
point the sphere has.
Can I talk? Well,
Go ahead.
a sphere is just the collection of all points that are a set distance from another point.
The center.
Nothing
One.
in
Yes.
between it. Nothing in between those points is considered to be inside of the sphere. Okay. If you take some point is let's say that we take a sphere with radius 4 units, whatever, and let's take any point inside of that 4 radius of a sphere. Any point inside of that sphere is not part of the sphere. It is not part of the surface. Why? Because a sphere is a collection of all points that are a set distance from a certain point on
No,
space,
there's
which
no
is
point. There's only
vertex.
diameter. There's only a diameter
I
and a
can't-
center. That's it.
Well, you are not understanding what I'm saying. If you're
I
talking
can't
about
believe
it.
you
It's nonsense. What
I
you are
can't-
No, I am explaining it point by point. Point by
Okay.
point.
Thank you, Dr. Science, with your backward hat. Jesus fucking Christ.
said is utter nonsense. You're making people.
Well,
retarded.
ignore everything I said. Let's
Okay.
hear
Sorry,
Flatzoid.
Flat, just have one.
I can't believe we have to actually explain basic geometry dimensions
I know,
to
right?
someone who's clearly studied geometry. Okay,
Well,
one.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
go ahead. I will respond later.
I'm doing this as simple down as I can. One dimension is that line. You see that? It's a length. That's it.
Completely
That's a
right.
dimension.
Completely right. One dimension. Yeah.
Two dimension. Length
No.
and height.
A circumference is not two-dimensional. It's one-dimensional.
Oh, circumference is not two dimensional, so you don't have a radius.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Oh,
You know why?
and you just proved
Really?
this guy doesn't know geometry. Well
No,
done.
really easy.
You know
Really easy.
your-
Really easy to prove it. Do you want me to explain why
You know
it
what
is
a radius
one-dimensional?
is? You know how radius works?
Yes,
On a
completely. The
circumference.
distance to one point. The distance to one point
X
of
and Y.
all the points in the circumference.
There's an
No,
X
it
and Y on
isn't.
that
It's a
circumference.
segment.
How many
It's a
points are
segment.
there on the circumference? How many points on your circumference that you're claiming? How many points are
You
there?
cannot count them. You cannot
That's
count them.
right, because there could be 3, there could be 5, there can be as many as you.
There's a dimension. There's a dimension.
No, you can't make a circumference out of 3 points only.
There's a dimension.
Wow.
And there's a dimension. X and Y. X, Y, whatever. Correct?
Of what? Of what? Of a plane?
Dimensional.
A Cartesian plane that you're expressing
This
it
is a,
in.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you, you
God.
get this now? This is a plane. This is a
No,
plane.
that's a square. That's not a plane.
Oh.
A
A
plane is
sphere is a
infinite.
plane. A plane is a square.
No, it isn't. A plane is
Okay, I
infinite.
think
It
you should
doesn't have
ask
any
for your
limits.
money back, wherever school you went to.
My
Ask for your money
Jesus.
back because you definitely should be
Oh my God.
failing that subject.
He's probably developed.
And search on Google if a sphere is
Google.
two-dimensional, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Because you use Google. You use Google for all of your references. So
No, we
go
don't.
search on
I
Google
don't.
if a sphere is two-dimensional. So
Yeah,
the
I
surface.
have it. I have it open right now. Flatzoid.
Where did you
God damn it, these people. Holy shit.
I don't
It's
see it yet.
nonsense.
I'm waiting. There we go.
Where did you learn this nonsense from, dude? I mean,
What
Flat
is
is
that?
right.
Take it here.
fucking
Completely
back, bro. You got
You live in a
really-
2D world.
Nate,
Sorry,
Nate,
sorry,
do
no,
you think
no,
when-
sorry.
Nate,
I
do you
retract
think when-
myself. It is a circle, not a circumference. A circle
It
is
says a
a two-dimensional figure. No, if
how do you get a
circumference,
circumference?
that's wrong. The circumference is the outer part of the circle. It's not the circle
We should
in its
flip the
entirety.
fleet.
But a
Yeah,
circle
but
is
the
two-dimensional.
Stop, dude. You gotta stop.
The circumference is two-dimensional because it is curving in two-dimensional space. It's got a length and a height.
What you're trying to refer to is that you need 2 dimensions to represent it, which does not mean
Yes,
that the
you
figure
do.
itself is
No
2-dimensional.
kidding,
You need 2 dimensions to represent a circumference.
Yes, and that's not the dimensions of the
So you
figure.
debunked yourself. Well done.
No, it's not the dimensions of the figure. When did I say that?
Oh, man.
Oh,
You just literally
Oh
said,
my
yes.
God.
I said, so a circumference needs 2 dimensions to
To
represent
be
it. You said,
represented. Yes,
So
yes,
a
which is not the
circumference is
dimensions of the
two-dimensional,
circumference. No, because that's not the dimensions of the
Double
circumference.
speaking again.
Can I ask you a
Go ahead,
question?
go ahead, talk.
Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
and when you're drawing a line to a point, does it have width to it too? Or is it just finite? Is it a finite line that has no width to it at all?
You know what is the... I'm going to respond to that with this. You know what is the main concern here? That you're confounding the amount of dimensions that you need to represent it with the dimensions of the figure itself. The dimensions of the figure itself are the set of coordinates that you need to locate any point inside of it.
So we are inside the
dimensions of
sphere.
the plane that you're using.
A sphere is 3-dimensional. You do know that.
No, it isn't. A ball
A
is
sphere is
3-dimensional.
3-dimensional.
No,
It
it's
takes up
2-dimensional.
three-dimensional space.
Easy to prove. Easy to prove.
Closer to your nose.
You know there's a difference between a circle and a sphere.
Obviously, but they are both
Is
2-dimensional.
a circle 3-dimensional
No.
or 2-dimensional?
2-dimensional.
Oh my God.
And a sphere is 3-dimensional.
2-dimensional.
No, a sphere is
They are,
3-dimensional.
they are both surfaces that you need only 2 things to locate any
A
point inside of it.
sphere requires x, y, and z coordinates. A circle only x and y.
It's a
How many coordinates do you need to locate any point inside of the sphere? How many?
X, y, and z.
No.
3-dimensional.
Two
For
things.
you to get the full circumference of a sphere, you need that.
You only
Off
need
topic.
these.
Green.
You
How
only
many
need 2
sectors are
angles.
there?
Well, you only need
Dude,
2
you work with
angles.
crayons, don't you?
Can I
You
tell
do.
you?
Wait, how many sectors are there, Green?
I don't know.
Off
2.
topic, I know. Okay, all right. Well, at least
360 degrees?
Oh, God, okay. All right, we're good. Okay. I just wanted to see where his mind was because I'm.
We agree with that.
We don't
agree
know.
with that. That's not a sphere. That's a ball. That's not a sphere.
This is a sphere.
It represents
No,
it.
it is a ball.
Yeah.
It is a ball because you're also considering the points inside of it.
A ball
What are you
is
talking
a
about?
sphere. A ball is a
Yes.
sphere.
No,
There's a-
It's spherical, but it's not a sphere.
they're
Doubt
2
about it.
different things.
The sphere is the mathematical representation of that object.
Can I explain
No, they're
why
not.
they are both
Explain
different
this.
things?
Yeah,
Can I
sure.
explain it?
Go ahead.
So this is just very poignant. So this guy is explaining mathematically what's up, and this guy is showing his ignorance with a children's toy. Let that sink in.
Well, in order to locate any point on a sphere, you only need 2 angles. That's it. In order to locate any point inside of a ball, you don't only need 2 angles, but you also need the distance to the origin of that ball. Okay.
Okay.
Oh
Does the sphere have a radius?
Yes, it does completely. You need
Does it
the
have a-
radius to define it.
Okay. Okay. And does the sphere have a circumference?
Infinite circumferences. Infinite
Okay.
contained inside of
Does
it.
it have? Does the sphere have height?
Respect to what?
You said it's a radius, so it's respect from the center. That's what a sphere
But
has.
that's
It's
not a height. A
three-dimensional.
radius is not a height.
Oh, so not from center to the circumference is not a height.
But that's not height.
Jesus, it's like a college student or a college professor, PhD professor, talking to a 5-year-old.
That is
What are you trying to? Let's express your
giving you
concerns.
three
He thinks he lives on a sphere, dude.
Explicitly.
You see the screen?
Yeah.
Is it
No,
not a 3
completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Oh,
Oh,
so
yeah,
this
there
is
it is.
completely wrong. What's the difference?
What's
right?
that difference? Let's read it. A ball is round, usually spherical object that is often.
So all Flatzoid can do is just smile and laugh like, yeah, he's so silly when you're doing that because you don't know shit, motherfucker.
Used for playing games or
Spiritual.
sports. But you're literally referring to a ball
Sure.
used on sports, which is an
Usually
informal use of the
spherical.
word.
Informal.
That's an informal.
fuck's sake. Are you, is that
Informal
your
what?
argument? Are you
A ball is a round, usually spherical object. Yes. Spherical, not a sphere. It's spherical.
But that's the informal use of the word. We're talking about a sphere.
Can I see your measurements for your ball Earth, dude? Sphere Earth, sorry.
The semantics game is crazy. So
Good God.
no, so the sphere is the sphere that Flatzoid is holding. If it's just called a sphere and it was never used for like playing or anything, would that be defined as a 3D like depiction of a sphere in the reality instead of like on the computer, like what we draw?
I wanted to explain what, in relation to what you said, John, what the dimensions of a sphere is. Okay, the dimensions of a
Yeah.
are the, as I said, coordinates that you need to locate any point on it. A sphere is concave. It doesn't have anything inside. It's a surface. That's why we call it a surface, because it is
It's flat too.
concave.
Yeah.
Does this ball have a radius?
Yes, but that doesn't determine whether it is a ball
So
or
it's
surface.
three-dimensional then. There's a height, a width, and a length to it. So it's three-dimensional.
From what are you measuring height, first of all?
The height of the sphere he's got in his hand.
Radius. Literally stating my point with a radius, it means it has a width, a height, and a length.
Doesn't have a width, because a sphere
X,
is a
Y,
surface.
and Z. Literally, X, Y, and Z make up a sphere.
Let's explain it in another way. Let's
You're
explain it.
trolling. Come on,
You have a, but I am trying to explain it so that you
You
can
have to be
understand what a
trolling.
sphere
You
is.
have to be trolling, man.
You're trolling.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're
Hey,
trolling.
hey,
Fucking
hey,
way.
Flatzoid, I came up with a new term. It's called patch quilt Earth. We measure it in segments, and we sew it together.
There ain't no way you can do that.
Let's take a random sphere. Let's take a random sphere.
Okay,
Let's
keep it
He just did that one right
sphere,
He's got one right there in his hand. What's the
take an
difference, dude?
imaginary- Let's take an imaginary sphere. As we
We're in
know,
an imaginary
the
world.
surface. Oh, can I talk? Can I talk?
You got a real sphere. You don't need an imaginary one. There's
That's a
one
ball.
right
That's a
there.
ball. That's not a sphere. That's a
It's a
ball.
sphere.
What
Holy
shape
crap,
is it?
dude.
Those
What
two
shape
things are
is it?
different.
Hold on, you semantic.
What's the difference?
bastard. What shape is it? What shape is it?
They're being educated and they don't like it. It's like poison to them. Education is something they fucking hate. No, so they think being educated is being trolled.
It's a ball.
Stand
It's a
right
ball.
now. What shape is
Ball.
that? Ball. Ball
Is
is
it,
a shape.
is it globular?
Is ball a shape? You just said it was.
It's
What
a
shape
figure.
is that ball?
Is it
Yeah, what
globular?
kind of?
It's spherical. That's the description of it. That doesn't make it a sphere.
What is it? Yeah, balls
Is
are
it spherical?
sphere
Is
shaped.
the ball spherical?
That's an adjective, not a shape. You can't define it as being spherical.
Is
but
the
it's not a
ball
shape.
spherical?
Well, if you
It
refer
hurts,
that
dude.
it conforms
It
to a
hurts.
sphere,
Okay,
it does, but it is not a sphere.
Yeah, well, dude, you're gonna have to step off, dude. If you can't concede that a ball is a sphere, Jesus Christ,
But
dude,
I don't
there's
have to
something wrong.
If you can't concede something that violates geometry, then you need to leave.
Something that is
Dude.
false.
That is not what's false about that statement. Give me one
I have already
falsehood.
explained
I
it.
spent it. No, you didn't. You didn't. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't sufficient enough, dude. No, it wasn't.
Well, can I
Bye-bye.
explain it again? Can I explain it again?
It wasn't sufficient enough for ignorant people to understand. See, that's you needed to continue that sentence on.
Go ahead.
What is this? Point,
And if you would have added "like me" at the end of it, that all the better. Extra points, extra credit.
any point? Yes, a sphere. Wow, crazy.
Wow, just like what he was holding. Oh my god.
Yeah, a ball. No.
Because a
You
sphere
guys,
doesn't have any
notice,
weight.
you guys notice that word radius in the inside there?
Yeah.
Yes, but it doesn't tell you anything about it being concave or not.
And this would be the lane.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, with the depth. Yeah.
Notice
I'm
that
not allowed
the
to
sphere
say it, but I
has
say the R word.
right? You see
Go
the
ahead.
No.
And we were going all the way to the end with this one. So I've been on for 2.5 hours. Yeah, we're just going to watch them prove more and more how fucking stupid they are.
Completely wrong.
You think we were born
What
yesterday?
is the diameter? The length of the
Doesn't-
line segment from one
the
point
volume,
to the other?
the volume enclosed by a sphere is not
Jesus.
part of the sphere
All right.
because a sphere is a surface,
See you later, Steve. Glad you stopped by.
which means that it doesn't have any width.
It's not a surface.
So okay, hold on. So hypothetically, so if we had a ball, if we had a quartz, like the ball that he's holding right now, if we just shaped it out of quartz so it had a solid surface inside, would that be considered a quartz sphere, or would you also say it's a ball?
If it has something inside, it's really easy to define the difference between both. A ball
A
isn't
solid
concave.
ball.
A sphere is concave. So that would be a ball. Simple as that.
So let me put it this way: your globe is your globe a sphere?
No, it isn't.
So it's not a spheroid, a great spheroid.
Thank you for.
No, the surface of the globe. You can consider the surface.
Yes, it's an oblate spheroid. It's spherical in shape. I mean, they can't understand the difference between the word sphere and spherical.
To be an oblate
Is
sphere.
your globe-
Surface
is
level.
your
We're
globe-
talking about.
I'm sorry, I asked you: is your globe an oblate spheroid or not?
No, it isn't.
Okay, he's not a globe, guys.
Cool.
Work that. Okay.
Thank you.
No, I am. I
Is it-
think
is it measured
that
that way?
one is consistent
I
with
asked you very
the
specifically:
consistent-
is your globe spherical?
You want to get
Spheroid definition. Not steroid, you fucking idiot. A solid generated by a half of a revolution of an eclipse about its major axis. A sphere-like but not perfectly spherical body. A solid generated by half revolution in an eclipse about its major axis. Prolate spheroid or minor axis, oblate spheroid. So yes, our Earth is an oblate spheroid.
Yes, it is. No. You said if it was a sphere, not if it is spherical. That's two different things.
It's the same thing.
So he thinks it's an oblate.
No. Being a sphere is not the same as being spherical. Being
Sphere-
spherical means
spherical.
that it resembles a
Hey, you
sphere.
dishonest little bastard. Is a sphere spherical?
Yes, completely.
Is a sphere spherical? Yes or no?
I already said that.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Then you just
Wow, why are you so mad, man? Why is he so angry? Wasn't that yesterday's show?
busted yourself, you dumb
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Ask was relevant. You fucking troll.
No,
You don't live on a sphere, dude.
Wow, I don't understand what you said, so I think you're wrong, you troll. I'm not smart.
Wait, hold on.
We're talking
I think he's trying
about
to
Everything
I'm yelling because I'm ignorant.
is relative.
Green, are you trying to say?
A ball's not a sphere.
Oh my goodness.
Where's this fucking clown coming
Calm down, angry grandpa.
Came from school, man. Where'd you come from?
I know. I'm trying to
Say something.
University and shit?
Calm down.
I'm trying to ask.
Lane's not a
Reed,
point.
do you think?
Lane's not a line.
PJ,
A point's not a point.
Can John go, please?
Greed, do you?
Why, you're
Greed,
thinking
sorry,
more stupid
I started calling you Greed.
Oh my
Greed,
god.
Greed, do you think it's an oblate spheroid, not a sphere, and that's why you're making the distinction? I just wanted to know. Like,
Yes,
why-
an oblate sphere is not a sphere because it is
So
formed
that's the
using
distinction. That's
Oh, that's why it's called an object. You know what a spheroid is?
a sphere is a
spherical
three-dimensional.
shape.
No, it's not a three-dimensional. It's a two-dimensional surface in this case
Oh
because it is
my
formed using
No.
an ellipse.
Okay, I'm done with this. I can't take this anymore.
We go back to two dimensions every
Yes,
time.
my argument.
Reed, thank you very much for coming, man. I think next time you come on, make sure you actually know the subject you're talking about and bring citation as well, please.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
you make sure that you don't know.
You've proven you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you tell him to come better prepared mentally? Fuck off. You fucking piece of shit.
Dismiss what I say.
Thank you. Bye. Okay.
Listen to this fucking shit.
God, that hurt.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was gonna say stuff, but you were destroying him the whole time I was muted, and I was.
No, nobody was destroying him. Oh my Jesus. I mean, these guys really, really are into themselves, aren't they? 16 more minutes. They get any better?
But anyways, yeah, that was the.
I mean, I'm just not gonna watch them say, "Oh yeah, we won," when they obviously fucking didn't.
Are you gonna finish the cannibals?
No, just hell no, man. No.
No. You don't have to.
Just want to see if anybody else came on.
I'm sorry, I just got tired of listening.
Trying to do is he was trying to promote the.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all we have. I'm going to leave it there. I don't care about hearing them declare victory because of reasons. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you later. And as always, be seeing you.